And welcome on in, Pokemon Unite trainers. Welcome to Underdunk number 72. And we are back with some more Swiss action. I am Steel Agent Kyle, and with me, as always, the one, the only Husky Star. Hi, Husky. How are you today?
Hi, I've got a little bit of a cold, so random sneezing and coughing may be in store for us this evening, but I'm still excited to be back for another Swiss underdog. I've liked the cheese puns. Let's keep them going.
Let's keep them going, indeed. Well, we have 4 rounds of Swiss this evening, just as we have the last few times that we've gotten there. Let's talk about what we are in store. It's going to be best of threes all evening. If you've been here for just our double elimination brackets, what we're doing differently here is everybody's going to have that opportunity to run 4 sets. So even if you lose your first 2 sets, your night is going to continue. So we want to make sure everybody gets as much practice as they want, and hopefully the competitions will be fierce. As far as format, like I said, best of 3 Swiss format. We only have one ban this evening. That's going to be Surfetch, just to kind of mirror the UCS experience, since it is going to be banned next week from our understanding. So we want to kind of mirror that. So even though it's been outside of that moratorium, Surfetch, unfortunately, on the chopping block. However, we do have a new item that has been added to the game, the Vanguard Bell. And Husky, have you had a chance to check out the Vanguard Bell?
I haven't. I would say that I'm not able to buy it, but I haven't even tried. So, to be completely honest, I've seen it do pretty well. It's got some interesting mechanics to it, but hopefully they fix that weird thing in the system that doesn't let certain people buy it. But other than that, it seems to be pretty cool. I've seen a couple videos of some players playing it, a couple streams where people were trying it out. It seems pretty busted, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. There are a lot of really strong Pokemon. For those that aren't aware of what Vanguard Bell does, when your Pokemon hinders the enemy Pokemon with a strong hindrance ability, typically slows do not count, but any other type of hindrances, pushes, shoves, knockups, and the like, it's going to heal 10%, up to 10% of your max HP on a 5-second cooldown. So it is very, very powerful on a lot of those tankier Pokemon and Pokemon that just offer a lot of hindrances. But as we talk about that, we talk about the meta. Let's talk about our picks and bans. We'll start with our top picks of Underdunk 71 last week. And it's been pretty standard across the board. We saw a lot of certain Pokemon. Specifically, Vaporeon ended up being our most picked Pokemon. However, the win rate maybe not supporting that pick rate. Measly 47%. So losing more than it won. One of the more shocking ones to me, though, Husky, is Hoopa, 45% picked and a 70% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, the Hoopa one's definitely interesting. Hoopa's just always good. It's always one of those supports that you can still pick regardless. The Vaporeon win rate doesn't surprise me. I feel like it was similar across in EUIC as well, where it was picked a lot as it started not to be banned every game. But, that also means that somebody's eventually got to lose some of these games with Vaporeon. It's a really good Pokemon, but it's pretty easy to pick up as well. So I feel like everybody, somebody on your team, your tank, your support is going to be able to play this Pokemon. So it makes sense that it has such a high pick rate.
It really does. And just some of those other Pokemon, yeah, Psyduck, 61% win rate, Mega Lucario, not super surprising there, very strong. Some of the more surprising ones to me are like this Blissey and the Eldegoss, kind of below 45%. Umbreon, a measly 27% win rate. So despite getting picked in a lot of games, a lot of these Pokemon, except for a few, have kind of been on that negative side. As we go
Yeah, I
into
mean,
our bans, let's talk about the
yeah, I was
bans
just
too.
just gonna say, look at some of these bands. A lot of what we're seeing picked is those supporters or defenders that aren't being banned. So it makes sense to me that some of them have a lower win rate because most of these that are being banned are these mega Pokemon. A couple of really strong all rounders. Still seeing Meowth banned a little bit. I've heard that it's not very good, but yeah, this Blastoise being banned 94% of the time. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This thing is so dumb right now.
I mean, we saw EUIC, we saw Bruv really take to Thea Sky, and showed everybody why Blastoise has been getting probably the highest encounter rate of the tournament. I didn't get a chance to see the exact final number breakdown for it, but definitely looked really good. And yeah, Husky just answered Captain Luis. It's going to be allowed today, so we'll see how it goes. Just a quick peek at our average game leaders from last week, and
Oh,
this
that's
will
a
be
cool
on
shot.
throughout the night. But yeah, very interesting stuff to see. Some of the averages across the board.
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't really know if I have much to point out here, but it is a fun stat to see, some of these averages with the leaders up here for some of these players. It's cool.
Yeah, I like seeing kind of some of the breakdown, some of the leaderboards. We'll show that throughout the evening, specifically during our intermissions. Those will stay up there. But the thing I want to bring up is going to be our map selection from Underdunk 71. 67.9% of the time Kyogre, nearly a quarter of the time Groudon, and a measly 7.6% still represented though was that Rayquaza.
Yeah, somebody picked it, so
Yeah.
must be broken.
Yeah, I'm liking the Kyogre. I think Kyogre just very, very much we're gonna see a lot of it this evening. Mostly because it's still our ranked map of choice, so I wouldn't be super surprised if we're gonna see a majority of Kyogre. However, we do have a little bit of information from our first round set, which will be starting very, very soon. It's gonna be Wolves United and Ashen Ones, and we are gonna see Groudon in our first map. So that is going to be a little bit different from our majority rules from Kyogre in our last week's episode of Underdunk. But as I said that, let's go ahead and get right into our first draft of the evening.
All right, first draft. Yeah, so Underdunk doesn't have a global first map, correct? I'm not remembering that. I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be it's not a global first. It's a little bit different. So the lower seeded team has the option of side selection or map selection, and then the other team will get to choose the one that wasn't selected. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe from what I'm seeing is that I believe it's Ashen Ones that picked Groudon first, and then Wolves United selected the first pick side. Is how I'm understanding. I think that's what we're going with.
All right, so interesting here seeing Meowth still banned out. Because I haven't seen it played at all. It wasn't touched at all at EUIC. So the fact that teams out here are still banning this Pokemon is definitely interesting. But as I was saying that, we do see the Mega Gyarados not banned. So immediately that's going to be first picked.
Mega Gyarados, an incredibly powerful Pokemon. Not really super represented in the picks phase, but as we saw in those bands, in those top bands, very represented there. So getting to see it is going to be a little bit surprising. Now, Ashen One's going to counter that with that Miraidon along with that Crustle. So you're going to get that defensive core, the little crab, and then you have a little bit of range damage with that Miraidon.
Yeah, Miraidon's still very strong attacker. Miraidon, Mewtwo, Y probably the best attackers in the game at the moment. This hasn't changed for quite a while. We've been kind of in this same meta for a little bit. On the other side, got Snorlax and Eldegoss out here. So two Pokemon that are still seen quite a lot. Your defender and your support. Very classic, both very early Pokemon that we've been seeing in competitive for quite a long time.
I like it. Liking the Eldegoss, I think it's really strong in this meta. We'll see how it kind of combats this heavy crowd control from the Suicune. It looks like Suicune is going to throw on that Vanguard Bell, so it's going to have a little bit of additional self-sustain with that item. Every time it does a little bit of crowd control, it is going to proc every 5 seconds, so something to pay attention to in those long, drawn-out fights. Wolves United is going to try to counter that. They grab that Venusaur, something that we don't see a ton of. I wouldn't be super surprised if we end up seeing a Vanguard get played on that one and potentially a Petal Gigasaur type of build. And then we're going to also get that Talonflame to dive that backline.
Yeah, Talon still likely the strongest speedster. I guess teams are considering Meowth to be the strongest speedster at the moment, but Talonflame is definitely really good. Interesting here, the Tyranitar coming out, which I am not sure about here. I guess, trying to deal with this Mega Gyarados, and you can try to brawl with it a little bit, but Tyranitar doesn't have a ton of chase capability, so it might not be able to catch up to something like a Mega Gyarados, but we will have to see, how they end up playing around this Pokemon.
Shall see. A Tyranitar. And anytime you have a Pokemon that can break through those shields and do damage underneath them, that could be pretty powerful. So we'll see how it's going to be able to counteract that Snorlax, especially in that Unite move when it gets some of those really large shields. Very interested to see this Pokemon. Yeah, you have 3 all-rounders for Ashen One, so heavy melee going into this one.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting game number one here because you got no healing support on one side. You kind of have Suicune in that supporter role, and Eldegoss being on the other side, representing the healing support kind of fill right there. So it's going to be interesting with Tyranitar because nothing is healing this Pokemon, and it needs to scale so much in the early part of this game.
Let's get into game number 1. Wolves United going to be on your purple side. Ashen One's going to be on your orange side. Zaid is going to take this Magikarp up to that top path along with that Eldegoss, sending this Talonflame, and then on the opposite side, it will be the Ceruledge going center.
Well, this is so, I guess, Miraidon kind of acting as your supporter up in that top path with the Tyranitar, and then you've got Suicune and Crustle in that bottom path. So that's a very interesting pathing choice here for Ash, and I assume we would have Suicune as your support and Crustle as more of your traditional defender. But, I did say there's no healing support, but we did see the Vanguard Bell get put on the Suicune, so they're going to be doing a little bit of healing to themselves as they deal some hindrances on the other side.
We're going to see this Talonflame rotate to the top path as well as the Ceruledge. Instead, just kind of poke its head out and then immediately is going to make a beeline, maybe a little bit of a bird line down to this bottom path. Going to immediately put some damage onto that little Dwebble, forces an eject button out, and looking to take this Bunnelby for themselves. And now look at them. They're going back up to this top path.
Yeah, considering here just trying to get that level 7, I believe it is Flame Charge, so you'll likely see Fly. That's going to be helpful with avoiding the damage from that Charge Beam. Potentially the Ceruledge as well. Tyranitar dealing a lot of area effect damage if it's got that Sand Tomb. So I do like the Fly here, because I don't really know exactly what you're Brave Birding into if you were to go with the Brave Bird moveset, but once they get that level 7, they can definitely start terrorizing this Larvitar.
The Larvitar actually given that central area to allow it to scale a little bit quicker. And now you do see Pupitar and Ceruledge going to immediately put some damage directly onto this Eldegoss, pushing them away from this Natu family. So this is experience all earned from Ashen Ones as they take that little bit. And now we're going to have 8 seconds until this Regidrago central area.
Yeah, Ceruledge is so strong, and it can just put so much pressure onto this path. Talonflame now is able to run in, try to grab that red buff away, and then it does end up taking it, but now it has to outrun this Ceruledge. Easily going to be able to do so. Really good play there from the Talonflame, especially because you remove the Ceruledge from the fight in the top path, and you let that Gyarados get online.
Just trying to create some space there. There's that Charge Beam going to take out that Eldegoss, and now Regidrago getting worked on by both of these teams. That's going to get taken. Suicune going to be the one that takes that. Crustle going to try to separate them with a nice little X-Scissor there. Gyarados going to be the only one to fall during this fight. Nice little dash away from Plushin. You have a level 6 Larvitar, now Pupitar.
Yeah, that's a really good play there for Ashen, especially because the Talonflame used their Fly a little bit too early. So you know that they're not going to be able to use it for the secure. You can really just throw everything at it in that moment. Suicune end up being the one to take it. You don't really think of Suicune as the one that does a lot of securing, but when you know that the Fly is off the table, it makes it a little bit easier.
This little Fly there is going to connect on 2 members of Ashen Ones. And now we are going to get that Regiroulette up in the top path. Going to be these top laners just 1v1ing as Miraidon starts to make a path down towards this bottom path. Fly's going to connect on another pair. And now Talonflame's going to Flame Charge away. And Crustle going down. Another eject into the Fly. Suicune down. Another boosted auto is going to do the trick. And then a Flame Sweep just to separate away from this Miraidon. Able to secure that Regieleki. Wolves United gets that first objective off the board.
Yeah, what a great play there from Wolves United. Just kind of everybody playing around that Talonflame's cooldowns. And that's kind of the name of the game, especially with a Pokemon like this that has long-ish cooldown on that fly. You have to make sure that you're playing around it. And the Snorlax, making sure they have their block up at the right time, letting the Talon jump in, get a couple KOs, avoid the basic attacks from the Miraidon with the Unite move. Very well played. Regieleki likely not going to walk in. Everybody from Ashen is down here. This might actually they might actually try to turn the tables here.
Regieleki walks into that T1 goal zone, but Wolves United unable to press forward. Cerulege deep behind enemy lines, looking to take one down, but it's actually going to be Talonflame that takes down 2, and that's Miraidon down. Now Mega Gyarados is joining the fray, and they're going to go right into the front line, trying to take down the Cerulege, able to do exactly that. Another fly from the Talonflame, going to connect on Tyranitar. Not a lot of damage there as Gyarados now peels backwards towards this pseudo-legendary. Another fly is going to connect. Another flame sweep connects. Gyarados goes down, met by a heavy slam from Snorlax. Nice little block is going to separate T-Tar from the pack. And another fly is going to connect on T-Tar into the beam. That's a double KO for this Venusaur.
Wow, what a scuffed fight, honestly, all the way. But the Tyranitar used the Unite move, got basically nothing. We saw the Gyarados use a Unite move, not able to land on the Cerulege for a little bit. They ended up getting a couple KOs there, but then we saw Revenant Rend as well hit absolutely nobody. Just everyone feel like they're just kind of feeling each other out still. And there's a fly that completely misses its mark. We're first day on the game. This is first game on for everybody.
Yeah, haven't warmed up quite yet, but we are going to get into it. 4 members still pushing towards this top path for Ashen Ones as they start to make their moves towards this Eldegoss. Wolves United wisely holding their pad. They don't want to get caught out too far. Another X-Scissor is going to connect on that Eldegoss. Just as I say that Eldegoss might have gone too far. There's that Verdant Anger from the Venusaur into the beam, but T-Tar found the back line. Meteor's falling down from this Miraidon, trying to separate the pack. Another beam's going to connect, and Mega Gyarados has joined the fray. Miraidon goes down. T-Tar's trying to break through those shields. Gyarados able to go away, and another beam fly combo. Talonflame gets 2. There's that Revenant Rend that we were talking about. Eldegoss looking to go down. Cerulege picks them up.
Wow, the Revenant Rend avoided by the fly. We also saw there the Phantom Force, again, avoided by the fly, just really playing well around those Talonflame move cooldowns. Doesn't really seem like Ashen can catch up to them. We saw as well, kind of what we were talking about before, the Tyranitar has some good moments where it's got the ability to use the Unite move. It has a good engagement, but there's just the mobility. On Wolves United, huge beam there will take away that Reg Ice. They will get punished for it, but Talonflame trying to back them up here.
Talonflame gonna fly, connect on 1. Suicune goes down. A nice little eject here from Miraidon as they're gonna try to charge beam up. There's a great block from that Snorlax. And now it's Ashen Ones on the retreat. They're gonna get back towards their T1. Another fly from Talonflame. Now they're gonna go backwards. T-Tar looking to hunt them down. Dark Pulse unable to connect. Another charge beam. Yeah, they might have gotten caught there, but it's actually Talonflame with a great maneuver just to get escaping. I think it was going to go 4v1, but somehow they were able to just narrowly escape.
This T-Tar has to just hope for a really good endgame fight and just make sure that the Talonflame doesn't have its move cooldowns up. It's going for it here. Does get the Tyranitar huge fly now, 173-1. And I'm wondering, how does Tyranitar even keep the Wolves United team in place? Even when Mega Gyarados is online, it's... it is dependent on its shields that Tyranitar can rip through, but also it has Waterfall and can very easily just walk away from the Tyranitar. So I'm wondering for Ashen how they make this work in this endgame.
They're looking for that 50-point back cap. Wisely very familiar with what Zaid was going to do with this Gyarados. Yeah, 10 seconds until our first objective. It is going to be Groudon, as we talked about here. It gets snuffed out right into that bush. Wolves United has some good vision.
Yeah, they have some great positioning, and they have the score advantage by a lot as well. Somewhere, 1 single point went in. I wonder if it's like a single stack for somebody. I'm pretty sure that the Tyranitar is stacking. So if it was the Tyranitar, they've got a single stack. If anyone else was stacking, they've got none. So Wolves United definitely in a pretty good spot here. Level 14 on that Talonflame. Cerulege, if they can get a good engagement on top of the Tyranitar Unite, that could be fantastic. Here we go, Kyle, jumping right into the fight.
I'm talking about those Unites, but I'm talking about that Bird and Anger from the Venusaur chunking through. Immediately, Ashen Ones is going to be down to 1, and they are going to go ahead and get absolutely obliterated. Mega Gyarados gets a KO streak of 3. Venusaur cleaning up a couple, and Wolves United gets that first ground on the game, and they're making their way towards their some points.
Yeah, I mean, with this team composition, right, this is kind of exactly what I would expect. Tyranitar just really not ending up able to do it. They don't even have their level 13 yet, but there's still an opportunity here. All the Unite moves, or wait, I don't think there's any way all the Unite moves were expended. Maybe there's some kind of bug or something where you can't see them, but, I also could be completely wrong. But that was a huge engagement off of Wolves United to jump in, going behind the Mega Gyarados, making sure that they had the advantage there, and then just bringing everything into the middle. So much CC, and Ashen just couldn't get anything done.
It really couldn't. Yeah, T-Tar finally going to start to make some waves and some headway. And as I say that, Snorlax blocking that way. Mega Gyarados making their way all the way towards this goal zone. Another double KO for them. Snorlax picking up a third. Only one member left standing. The Ceruledge going to have to watch as the rest of these points get deposited into the home goal zone. And Ceruledge is going to look towards game number 2.
Yeah, this is a really big game, number 1 for Wolves United. But hey, Ashen didn't get shut out. They did get 1 single point there in game number 1. But this is a really good team. You can never really count Ashen Ones out. They're a very experienced team, and they play well together. I think it's possible that they just had, they were trying something out. They were trying out this new composition, maybe trying out the new item with this Suicune, trying to make it more of an attacker than it usually is played as. And it just didn't end up working out for them in game number 1. So I do imagine that we'll see some differences here for this squad in game number 2.
1 point in, and it was Yoga depositing that 1 point in. I believe it might have been in the top goal of one of those.
Wow, so no stacks for anybody.
Stacks. Yeah, that's rough. Because I don't think the Miraidon was stacking. So yeah, just as you said, if it was someone else, no one's got a stack. But yeah, look at all these.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that was because of that huge block by Snorlax. They had one really good push onto that tier 1 goal zone, and Snorlax just came up with the biggest block of all time. Xeno able to make it happen, keeping them to 1 single point. That's definitely a really great game number 1 for Wolves.
I loved this Venusaur. I mean, you look at the stats and the breakdown there, 90k damage dealt, only 27k taken. So these divers from Ashen Ones really not able to put a lot of damage onto the back line. They weren't really able to do a lot of it on the front line either. Obviously, Talonflame being very, very elusive, only taking 28k, even though they were that speedster. And every time it seemed like they were just right in the middle of every fight.
Yeah, they were all over the place. And the way that, Mega Gyarados is also played is very passive for most of the game. But then as soon as we saw this Mega Gyarados able to use its Unite moves in those fights, it was huge. It was just doing so much damage. I feel like this is a Pokemon that you can't really leave alone. You can't really let it be in some of these games. I get the idea for the Tyranitar here, because if you're imagining Mega Gyarados in the middle of the fight, just kind of chomping at everybody, T-Tar can rip through those shields. But the T-Tar then has to be getting online as well. And we just didn't see it. I would have loved to see some healing support along with that Tyranitar to help set it up a little better. And a Bliss assistance or something, then we could have seen that final fight go a little bit differently. But I also just think Tyranitar is... it's okay, it's not the best. So there's to me, it just feels like there's other options that would be better.
Speaking of other options, we could go ahead and talk about some of our other options while we have a couple of minutes before game number 2. We didn't really get to cover.
Yeah.
And maybe one of those options that you wanted to talk about was that Slowbro.
Yeah, I imagine that we would be seeing some Vanguard Bell, so I was thinking about it. I was looking at some builds, and I wanted to be a little fun with my Pokemon to watch. So I feel like Vanguard Bell could bring Slowbro. Kind of not that it's not back, but it's definitely not one of the top defenders. But I imagine we could potentially see teams start to pick it up again with the addition of this Vanguard Bell, because Slowbro really depends on its CC.
Really does. I think it could be really strong. I think another Pokemon that I'm interested in seeing, what can you say? Mr. Mime. I think this Pokemon's super fun to play just in general. And when it's really good, it's really annoying. So when I think of Pokemon that could really use this, the extra sustain from Vanguard Bell could be really good with a Pokemon like Mr. Mime, who doesn't really have any self-sustain within its normally played kit of that Confusion Barrier. So I think it's really one
How
of
about
those
you put
big bell.
leftovers on it?
Let me cook. Let me cook.
Cooking up
Let me
those
cook.
leftovers.
Let me cook. Yeah, I like Resonant Guard on it. I think the Vanguard Bell fits really well. The third item I think could be pretty flexible. I think you could do Focus Band. I think you could do Buddy Barrier. But I really
Muscle
like the
band.
idea of I like the idea of yeah, Focus Band. Yeah, I think it would be really good. I like the idea of leftovers because of the way that you would try to play this Mr. Mime, and that is yeah, Ash's dad. Ash's dad, Mr. Crime and Christian. I think you want to be annoying with this Pokemon. You want to stay on the enemy side of the map, and you want to try to not go back to base and just keep vision for your team. So I think leftovers really helps you accomplish that by just,
Mhm.
once a fight's over, staying on the enemy side, maybe push a goal zone, maybe go for an invade. I think there are a lot of ways you could do it. I think Mr. Mime, I think is a Pokemon that can be kind of that disruptor type of Pokemon. So I wouldn't be super surprised if we saw this Pokemon, go on some of those invades.
Yeah, I mean, those are some options for Ashen to consider as well.
Mhm.
I think, there hasn't been a ton of time with the Vanguard Bell, but from what I've seen, it does do quite a lot of healing. So a lot of defenders, as if defenders and, some supports weren't broken enough already, having the option to heal up more on some of those CC moves that are so powerful right now, I think is a really good potential option.
Mhm. Yeah, I think there are a lot. I've tried a lot of different Pokemon with the Vanguard Bell. I think a lot of your normal suspects are really really fun with it. Psyduck, a very big bell wearer, I think. Obviously with Surf or even with Disable or Psychic. I think all of those abilities work really well with Psyduck's kit, who doesn't normally have a lot of that healing built in. So I think that works really well. I think Lapras is probably a decent winner on it too with Bubble Beam.
Hmm.
Then you kind of think of other unique picks like Pedal Dance, Giga Drain, Venusaur. I ran a full tank Venusaur the other night, and I thought I think I healed half of the damage that I took, so it actually ended up being pretty decent. It was kind of like a raid boss in that late game.
Yeah, I wonder if it's worth it on any CC attackers. It just feels like it's such a defender item. We'll have to see what we end up doing here. Got the classic Meowth Umbreon, Vaporeon band, and I think we're just going to see the same bands across the board here, game number 2. Looks like we've got the Kyogre map as well, and Wolves United once again is your first pick. So are we going to see that Mega Gyarados again? Yes, we are.
Sure are. I wouldn't be really surprised if Ashen One elects to pick a different defender here, like we talked about. I think Slowbro, just to shut that thing down, would be very wise if they have a player that would want to try to take that. Snorlax, obviously a very good defender as well. I mean, we saw it work really well for Wolves United in game number 1. We'll see if it works well here in game 2. But instead, they are going to go with a Speedster, looking to shut down the early game, and also that supporter of Claypool.
Yeah, very early Leafeon pick. I really wouldn't want to see this thing picked at this point, but it also seems like they weren't really sure what they wanted to pick in their defender slot, so potentially just knowing they want to go with Leafeon eventually, letting the rest of the squad think about it a little bit harder. But Wolves United not looking to change anything up. They've got the Eldegoss and the Snorlax back, both of which look fantastic in game 1.
Yeah, I think Eldegoss works really well. I love that they're throwing Cursed Incense on there. Because if they could just kind of hang out behind this Snorlax, hold down their A button and really dish it to this Clefable, and then kind of that front to back composition that Ashen One seems to want to play with, I think that'll work really well. Looks like Ashen One is going to line up that Urshifu, and currently, as it stands right now, full heal. That tells me that we're likely going to see a Water Bear.
Yeah, Water Bear could be pretty good. I mean, it's got some CC and it's got some Chase as well, in case they wanted to go with that Talonflame once again. They also stole the Venusaur, so on the other side, we're going to see Espeon. And what I believe is going to end up being a Scyther here, which is a really, really solid speedster.
I love seeing a good Scyther player, and I think this works really well into that backline. I think it does semi-decently into the Leafeon. It's maybe not the best counter, but I think it's actually pretty dang good. And last pick for Ashen Ones, that gutter pick, is going to be the Mamoswine. So they picked their tank last, and I think Mamoswine, when we talked about Pokemon that can use the Vanguard Bell, I think this is another one.
Yeah, I like the Mamo here a lot as well. Full tank Mamo build. You've got the eject button for some engage, and then you got your Urshifu that can kind of follow up on a lot of those stuns. And then the Vanguard Bell just giving it some more sustain in these fights. You've got Clefable as well. So you're really just trying to keep everyone on the team healthy so that they don't get bursted down by the Gyarados and the Scyther. I definitely like this composition much better for Ashen than what we saw in Game 1.
I like it too. I think it will work a little bit better. Currently, as it stands, we are seeing what's likely going to be a Venusaur. So, again, this is going to be protect the back line. It's going to be really difficult to get this Venusaur online if they're not able to keep it protected, because Venusaur really almost kind of useless, levels 1 through 6. So, if they could rush that level 7, Ashen Ones should have a pretty good time in the late game, because it is kind of a late game boss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at this Leafeon pick either. I was a little worried about seeing it so early in the draft, but it doesn't really seem like it will get super punished, and it really can just jump on this Espeon, even in the early game where Espeon is also pretty solid.
Let's get into game number 2. Wolves United, Ashen Ones. Wolves United looking to go on into the next round with a W. Ashen Ones trying to get that and forcing a game number 3. We are going to see Plush head towards the top path with this Leafeon, and Yoga might be going on a little bit of an invade adventure on Clefairy.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised to see Cubfu still in that central area, but I guess they're not too worried about an invade. I definitely would be worried seeing that Snorlax on the other side, but we do see Espeon already getting a couple secures, getting closer to that level 4. I wonder if we'll see the Psyshock or the Stored Power against a Leafeon, but I can see Psyshock being still a pretty good option.
Ooh, very scary moments for the Clefairy. Almost yielded a KO over to this Magikarp instead. Leafeon does get online, and they don't give up that important KO, which could have been, big issue, because you don't want that Mega Gary online too early. Scyther going to take a little bit of a peek in this Urshifu central area. Leafeon coming to the rescue. Going to not save that Urshifu. Going to look for the KO on Scyther, and they're going to find it.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a trade. You get central area for central area, but unfortunately that means Leafeon does get that level 5, and once it gets that level 6 and it's got that aerial ace, it can kind of start stomping, just walking all over the map. But, for now, not too bad for either squad, but this is already a better start for Ashen Ones. They have doubled the amount of points that they got in game number 1.
Great start, even. Fantastic start. We're going to see Scyther peel back towards their central area, just with Plush on the map with that Leafeon. You don't want to leave that up for too long, because they do love to invade. Also looking for this maybe 30-point score on the back side of this. Over Mega Gyarados along with Eldegoss going to pick off this Clefairy, force them back towards that T1, get to safety just in time, and somehow able to stop the Leafeon as well.
Yeah, good eject button as well. And when they were like halfway through the waterfall, we saw them use the eject, make sure they stopped the Leafeon. Definitely a good call by them, but here comes the Urshifu. I don't think that this Gyarados realized they were there. They are going to be able to jump away for now. They are leaving Eldegoss to get taken down. Now Urshifu, not done yet, is going to try to jump in on the Scyther, and this Water Bear doing really, really well early.
Pushing the limits of this Pokemon, going to 1v2 or 2v1 that Scyther. Scyther goes down, and now Clefable coming to the rescue, forcing some HP bars back up to the top, getting another stack in for themselves. And it looked like they wanted to break that, but instead they're going to elect to, starve Wolves United out from some of the experience on the map.
Yeah, Gyarados very low. Doesn't want to have to back and then the Urshifu to find them, but they will be able to get away for the time being. And now Wolves United is the team that's being shut out. Not as solid of an early game for them as we saw in game number 1. We do see the Mamoswine as well. Level 6 already for this Pokemon. We've got one Unite move, and it's the Leafeons. So that's been a pretty solid early game for them. Able to get their Unite move before these first objectives, of which we have Registeel, our Regiroulette in the bottom path.
They're going to send all 5 members of Ashen Ones to try to take down this Registeel. Good front lining from this Piloswine, keeping both of the members of Wolves United that was looking to maybe steal it away. Now the push is on towards this T1. Emerald two-steps, not going to hit the mark. Scyther, Green Illusion dive, going to try to slice through Ashen once, but they're the one that's going down. 3 members just get erased from Wolves United, and now this goal zone is also down. Ashen ones breaks both T1s.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the Clefable as well. It's just dunking in an extra 15 points in their way. But, you know, you have Gyarados up in that top path, focusing on the Regieleki by themselves, making sure that they can scale up, which is kind of the way you have to play this Pokemon. Usually, this Pokemon isn't seen in team fights until the later half of the game, so going 4v5 already, Ashen gets the Registeel and then starts to push. You're at a huge disadvantage, even if you are on your own side.
They're going to just hover that Altaria family in the central area, take that all for themselves. Now going to move their tempo up towards this top path. Gyarados and Eldegoss see the writing on the wall for members of Ashen Ones. Going to maybe slow down this fight a little bit, or Shifu dishing out some blows over to Ashen Ones. Gyarados goes underneath the water. Mega Evolves, going to try to dash away. Another Emerald two-step, though, is going to make them dash back to the Pokemon Center, and Ashen Ones gets another W in these team fights. However, Wolves United gets a nice 70 consolation prize in that bottom path.
Yeah, I mean, Leafeon still almost went down there, but oh, look at this. Ashen just going to keep pushing. Nobody is up in that top path. They get a huge amount of points there. Might get punished for it. No! Urshifu will take down the Gyarados easily. It takes down the Scyther as well with their Unite move. Full push here for Ashen onto the tier 2.
Yeah, and they're going to get even more points in. Hyro very low on this Venusaur. Eventually going to perish towards that Snorlax. Nice little block there, pushing Mamoswine into the wall. Or Shifu, level 12, going to try to take on this level 10 Gyarados. Going to be able to dash away just in time. Scyther looking to go for him, but a good peel from Leafeon. Is Leafeon going to take out the Scyther? They do. However, they're going to pay for it with the KO as Gyarados takes down Leafeon in revenge.
Yeah, good KO on the Leafeon. Scyther really doesn't seem to be doing much of anything at the moment, unfortunately. I like the Talonflame much better in game number 1. It seemed to do well, but it's just going to be difficult as a Scyther to walk into something like Mamoswine, Clefable, especially when this Urshifu is so far ahead. And Eldegoss already having to use the Cotton Cloud Crash here. Regieleki starting to get chipped. Everybody up here in this top path.
Oh, Leafeon going for a Unite move, take out its EV counterpart. However, Wolves United on the front end of that fight, able to take that Regieleki. Ashen One's going to force to deal with it. They could have potentially just let that walk in, gain some additional experience on the map, but instead they're going to take it down, and also that Mega Gyarados down with it. And now they're going to take that 251 to 140 lead towards this late game. There is still a basement Reggie to be had.
Just a good steal there for the Gyarados. They had it, you know, just as they were popping out of their Unite move to take the Regieleki, but it doesn't really do anything. You end up losing the fight so miserably there. It seems to be completely different Ashen Ones than we saw in game number 1. So I think that my assumption was correct. They were just trying out that T-Tar and didn't seem to work out. So now we're back to the Urshifu, and they have a really, really solid lead here, over 100 points. About 3 minutes and 15 seconds left until we see the Kyogre.
And the Snorlax is doing double time trying to defend away from this Urshifu. Now this fight's going to go in towards the central area. Urshifu, I believe, just used their Unite move just to take out that lonely Eldegoss, unfortunate for Wolves United. Now Scyther getting peeled over. Going to have to retreat back into their central area because Clef and Mamoswine were looking to brawl them out. And now we're kind of getting closer to Kyogre time. 100-point plus lead here for Ashen.
Yeah, they're doing really good. Both teams now hovering around the center. It's probably not the time to use some Unite moves. No objectives are on the map, so both teams just kind of feeling each other out, making sure that they have the vision they need. And, you know, Snorlax standing around in that central area, Clefable healing everybody up. It's just Clefable is so powerful. Actually, Moon just got rid of what I can see on my screen. Just letting it for... All right, there we go. Yeah, so 2 minutes, 15 seconds already. Ashen has control of this central area. Wolves United is going to have a huge engagement here in this fight if they're going to want to take this game.
Ashen One's just playing around this Clefable, staying healthy with their HP bars. Kyogre joining the fight. Urshifu getting caught in a Unite move from that Espeon. We're going to start to use some Unite moves for Wolves United. There we go with that Verdant Anger, but no Pokemon has fallen just yet. Now Ashen Ones loses their Urshifu and the Mamoswine. Scyther slicing through them. Mega Gyarados getting into the party, and 3 members are down. Clefable rolls a fly with their Wonder Rush, and they're going to heal up this Leafeon on the T1. Meanwhile, Wolves United going to take towards this Kyogre. It's already at half. I don't think Ashen Ones is going to be able to walk in. They're going to go ahead and take it full off the map.
Wow, what a fight there for Wolves United. You know, you really thought you see Ashen taking control of every single fight all game. You do have Mamoswine trying to defend this tier 1, but that's 4 members of Wolves United pushing in. They're still behind, though, right now, Kyle. They have to get at least another 100 points in, and I'm not sure if they realize how close this game is right now. 11 points differentiate these two squads.
They're going to have time for one more push, but it seems like they want to do it all as a singular unit. They're going to start making their way towards this T1 on the bottom side. Mega Gyarados lagging a little bit behind, trying to defend their own goal zone. Scyther going to snuff out this Clefable, immediately sent back to the Pokemon Center. Leafeon also grabbing some valuable vision. Mega Gyarados still lagging behind, not ready to go in just yet. Venusaur hovering in this tall grass, looking for a Solar Beam angle. They don't have their Unite move. Nice little Sludge Bomb there. Gonna separate that Snorlax, but that's a full HP bar, and Ashen One's gonna have to retreat backwards.
Oh, there it is. 42 points will go in for Wolves United there with 19 seconds left. I don't know if Ashen's going to be able to get to the other side in time. That's another member down there. Venusaur drops, but Espeon drops on the other side. No one from Ashen's trying to get to the opposite side, though, so it's not going to have enough time. Even the Leafeon trying to run over there. They don't have a goal getter. Not going to be able to do it. Another 100 points will go in, and Wolves United is going to take this series 2-0.
Yeah, great final fight there for Wolves United. And also just understanding their win conditions of, we still need to get points, but we cannot give up any shields because they were down. So very wise decisions there in that final minute and a half. 382, 251 going to be your final here in game 2. And Wolves United taking that set pretty easily, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, the second game definitely was in the hands of Ashen Ones. Look at the KO numbers, the 13 KOs on that Urshifu, but just another fantastic end game from Zayd, especially on this Mega Gyarados. 97,000 damage, really able to bring it out in that final fight. And sometimes the final fight is the fight that matters.
Yeah, Ashen Ones looked very good in that game, and yeah, just kind of unfortunate. Unfortunately, kind of let that Mega Gyarados stay alive. You didn't really have a whole lot of tools to take it down, and I think you talked about it early on in that game where Gyarados wasn't very frequently present during that early game. It took them a while to get online. They were taking objectives by themselves on the opposite side of the map, but when they joined the fights, they really packed a punch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that once that Gyarados kind of gets online, then it is over in a lot of ways. The Leafeon looks, really good, but they just didn't get the engagement that they needed at the end there. And I don't think that Ashen was ready for what Wolves United was bringing to that fight. But yeah, great set for Wolves United. Both teams still going to have some sets ahead of them, though. So we'll see who ends up coming out on top later in the night.
We shall. Well, let's go ahead and get on to a break. We are going to try to look for a game 3. So we'll try to get that set up if there are any available. So before that, so just as everybody knows, this is a Swiss bracket. So if we can get a game 3 in the same round, we will absolutely try to do exactly that.
Right.
So
I'm going to take a picture of Moon.
Oh.
With, Moon, where she's sitting right now.
She's just blocking.
Well, she knows I'm like a little bit sick, so she always spends more time with me if she knows that I'm not feeling that great. But Moon, we've got some Unite to play. Some Unite to cast. It's her favorite game.
I believe it. Well, don't go too far, trainers. We're going to try to take a quick break, get a game 3 set up. If not, we'll go straight into round number 2. So grab a drink, grab a snack. We will be back. And welcome back, trainers. Underdunk 72, and we are going into round 2. Oh, Miss
She hates
Moon.
it. She
She's
hated
so
that.
cute. But yeah, we are going into round 2, so there were actually very surprising. Every set in our round 1 went 2-0, so we had 0 game 3s. So we're going to jump right into our round number 2, and we're going to see Bad Bunnies and CC Yellow in our round 2 matchup.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. CC Yellow and Bad Bunnies. Who's on these teams?
So Bad
Security
Bunnies,
and Solar
Yep.
is Bad Bunnies. Yeah, okay. This should be an interesting one.
Yeah, and then on the opposite side, I believe CC
Umbreon's
Yellow
this
is
team?
like, yeah, Umbreons and Chunti, and I believe I thought I saw Charles on there, who used to be on Growth. So there's a few players on that team. So I think this is actually going to be probably a pretty competitive match if I am guessing, and maybe I'm guessing correctly. We'll see.
Yeah, this should be a fun one. I'm interested to see like what the teams end up picking up because, when we get a new item, it means that we get, teams looking to try some stuff out, see if anything sticks. And I would love to see some of our Pokemon to watch or Pokemon that we wanted to see. Maybe these teams be the ones to work it out. So far, bans unsurprising.
Not at all, yeah. Umbreon and Mega Charizard getting banned, and I think it might have been Umbreons that banned the Umbreon. I love that. Well, actually, it was Genma Sage, but maybe it was a target ban on their own player. Maybe they just didn't want to pick it first, so just take it out of the game entirely. Double Mega bans on the side of Bad Bunny. Make it a 3-for-3 combo. All 3 Megas in the ban slot there. Charizard Y, Lucario, and Gyarados.
Yeah, I may as well just take all of them out, but it does mean Blastoise on the table, and we're going to see that one get picked up right away. It's already got the bell on it, and I've seen that it does pretty well with it. So now Bad Bunnies, considering an Alchemy pick, not bad. Also considering various tanks, I wouldn't mind seeing a Trevenant. It looks pretty good with the Vanguard Bell as well, just because that's so much CC. We are going to see Cerule Edge locked in, another one that's really solid, and we are going to see Crustle be picked up.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a ton of it. I thought that we might see some Trevenant. I think, like you said, it's a very good suitor for the Vanguard Bell. But we haven't seen it just yet. Something we are going to see, though, is going to be this Wigglytuff with the Vanguard Bell. I love this. I think Wigglytuff is very underutilized, so I'm excited to see it here.
I wonder if it's going to be rollout then. If we're seeing the Vanguard Bell currently on it. I wouldn't mind seeing the rollout Wiggly. It's going to be, an interesting call. But Mimikyu as well, another pick that we commonly see. It's one of those that always skates through in the bans, but it's still always a really solid pick.
And very solid pick. Inteleon's going to have its work cut out for them, trying to dodge this Talonflame, even maybe the Zacian Mimikyu to a little bit of a lesser extent. We'll see if they are going to go with the Liquidation build. I think Liquidation probably goes pretty well here, especially in the high mobility. But you also have to worry about if you lock on with that Talonflame, they could always take the Disguise and negate all that damage. Security on that last pick, though, locking in the Scyther.
Yeah. Scyther into this comp, I don't know. We'll have to see how far ahead they end up getting, especially in that early game. But with the help of Liquidation, you lock onto something like a Zacian, have the Scyther come in, follow up. It could be really powerful. I think that this comp requires a lot of really cohesive teamwork, which, knowing the players on this squad, I'm sure that's not too much of a concern for them.
Not really, yeah. I'm really excited to see more Cerule Edge. I think this Pokemon, after getting that round of buffs over that last patch, I think we're starting to see its true potential. I think it's definitely one of the better all-rounders. I'm surprised, though, Husky, that we haven't seen any Garchomp in these first couple games.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Garchomp come out in EUIC. It's possible that teams are just kind of sick of it, but, it's also possible that we have so many things that are really strong right now, and Garchomp just doesn't really fit into what a lot of teams are trying to do at the moment.
Let's take a look at game number 1 of our Swiss round 2. CC Yellow going to be on your purple side. Bad Bunnies going to be on your orange side. We're going to see the Zacian head to the top path. Mimikyu is going to be that central area Pokemon for them. On the opposite side, Scyther going to be the central area Pokemon for Bad Bunnies.
You know, I'm excited to see what this Wigglytuff ends up doing because it did have the bell on it. So I'm interested to see if we're going to see a rollout on that Pokemon. And then in the bottom path, you've got the Squirtle as well. The Pokemon that's always banned out somehow skates through in this game. Very early KO on the top path for the Zacian.
Very early. And that's kind of the struggle that you see with that Charcadet early on. Going to be able to get bullied by that Zacian along with this Wigglytuff, who's also very just annoying to deal with early on, especially with that cute charm. You have to really be careful if you're Bad Bunnies. No way.
Yeah, coming up now, looking for a secure. I believe they got it too. Just walks up, a little bit of a slap, and then walks away. Not quite level 4, but there it is now. So we're going to see what they end up going with here. And here comes the Mimikyu, which I believe I saw a Shadow Claw there on that Pokemon. So already having a pretty good start for CC Yellow.
Mimikyu gonna hover around this tall grass. It's gonna be 3v3 up here. Blissey gonna come 2, but it's gonna be this sleep that is putting in all the heavy lifting for CC Yellow. 2 Pokemon put to sleep, back into the Pokemon Center. Now gonna look for this Scyther. Put to sleep, put to bed. They're gonna go ahead and score a ton of points. Actually only gonna deposit 20 in there. Gonna allow this Wigglytuff to stay forward on the map.
Yeah, Scyther quite EBCB and Wigglytuff without, with Sing, with Rollout, with whatever it does, it is quite annoying. So it is just going to walk right into that central area. Scyther now trying to put it to bed, and it does. Mimikyu gets caught by a Rock Tomb there, and they will go down as well. And suddenly, CC Yellow, the team to overextend here.
Great choice, too, for Blissey to go Safeguard, just to try to disrupt a lot of that CC Yellow is trying to put through. Chimmy going to look for a nice little 2-point cap there on this Talonflame, able to accomplish that mission, and it's going to be Charcadet still searching for that level 5. Hasn't been able to get it. Security, though, able to secure that Regidrago for Bad Bunnies.
Yeah, Scyther now level 7 here in this top path and trying to find a way in. Ceruledge, though, only level 5, looking to get some levels. Wigglytuff not going to be able to get out. I think, Ceruledge with the wound passive, it's pretty good against Wigglytuff. It's always going to be doing pretty consistent damage if it can hit it. So even if the Wigglytuff's walking away, it's still taking some burn damage.
Go for these 720 birds. Chimmy gonna get that evolution online, so Talonflame has hit the map. Play rough directly onto that Ceruledge. Zacian, along with Mimikyu, slicing through them. And now the 4v3 is on in this top path. Zacian gonna have to dash away, but you can't dash away from those sure hits from the Inteleon. And now the push is still on for CC Yellow. 7 points in from Wigglytuff. Mimikyu pushing forward on that play rough onto the Blissey. Now going to attach to that Inteleon. Nice little liquidation to try to get that Wigglytuff low, but this goal zone's still staying up, but CC Yellow gets exactly what they needed.
Wow, the Inteleon just walking forward on every member of CC Yellow, and no one's even trying to go after them. It's just an attacker. I'm surprised that it's been able to just walk up and do so much damage. Talonflame will be able to secure that Registea with the fly, but still, liquidations are coming out. Blissey will go down. This could be an opportunity for CC Yellow. They will be able to break this goal zone. Not the best overcap, but not a bad one either.
Not bad. They're going to now go for the invade in the central area of Bad Bunnies, and Bad Bunny's just going to try to pick up the pieces of the leftover crumbs that CC Yellow is leaving. Nice little slice there. Going to try to go for this blue buff. Now going to go on to that Blissey Zacian with a great follow-up. They're going to try to go for this T2. And Bad Bunny's able to get to security, but getting sliced down by that Unite move from Zacian. Is that Scyther. Nice little peel there from Crustle, and they're going to send that dog to the pound.
Sounds like these teams just inting back and forth, honestly. But meanwhile, for CC Yellow, this Blastoise have been down in the bottom path getting some levels. They are level 8, just a bit away from that powerful Hydro Typhoon that makes this thing even more bannable. And somehow it's still ending up in this game. But Regieleki has been sitting down here all by its lonesome. Teams now starting to rip this apart.
Gonna go for it. Ceruledge going to go ahead and secure that. It's actually Scyther that gets that last hit, the Revenant Red, dishing out a lot of crowd control. Talonflame going to try to run away from this Inteleon as Mimikyu takes out that Ceruledge. Inteleon now goes down to the Talonflame on the back end of this fight as CC Yellow just tries to defend this Regieleki from walking on in, and with all this bulk, they're going to be able to accomplish that mission.
I watched the Inteleon walk towards the Talonflame, and I was like, what are we doing right now? Like, that's a Talonflame. You can't walk into the tall grass when there's a Talonflame around. And yeah, indeed, they absolutely got punished. I think anybody could have predicted that one, but still, Inteleon now hitting that level 10 mark with CC Yellow. Definitely the team that's ahead, even though Bad Bunnies has had some good fights. 128 to 14 with CC Yellow currently leading with 2 level 11 Pokemon.
They're going to look for this top Regiroulette. It is a Regirock. Going to throw some rocks directly at that Blissey. It's already down to half. Looking for a secure Inteleon's going to hit a nice little liquidation. Getting separated. Scyther into the Revenant Rend. It's going to get secured by Bad Bunnies. They're now going to push on forward. However, a great counter punch by this Mimikyu as they picked up a double KO. Making a 3-piece combo. Going to Shadow Sneak onto the Scyther. Are they going to take that portal? They sure do. Green Illusion die. They flip the Uno reverse card. They take out 3.
Ooh, what a clean 3-piece there for security, taking them out. Finally going to get a couple points in him in the bottom path. CC Yellow trying to dive this tier 1 goal zone. It's only had a couple points scored on it so far, but it looks like at least for now they're going to be chased out by this Inteleon. He comes down flame with a big fly into the flame sweep. They'll grab one. Just the Crustle, though, who does have a Unite move to spare, Kyle.
They're going to Unite move. Now going to force to use that eject button. Gonna get surfed into the wall, met with a fly, reverse it with an X scissor into the Rock Tomb. Wow. Talonflame goes down. Another surf from the Blastoise gonna push this Crustle to the brink. Liquidation into the Hydro Typhoon. Blastoise meets them, tries to surf away, met by a brick wall. Scyther on the top side is able to score a nice little 50 bomber. And now they're going to make their work on towards this Regieleki. Bad Bunny's going to try to separate CC Yellow from getting in. Shadow Sneak's going to connect onto the Blissey. Are they going to take that second instance of it? Doesn't look like it. Unite move from the Inteleon. Going to try to take this Regieleki. Looking for a secure Inteleon. Gets it with a boosted auto. Play rough onto the Blissey, but they get taken down by the Inteleon. Bad Bunnies gets a good objective.
This is quite a back and forth game right here. We see the Wigglytuff coming in, sleeps on top of 2, and here comes the Blastoise trying to push away this Regieleki. Now Crustle, huge X-Scissor there to make sure that the Inteleon can get out, so they're not down just yet, but in the backside, the Talonflame does end up taking down the Cerule Ledge, but Zacian on the other side goes down to the Inteleon. This is just so back and forth right now, but in the end, it looks like Bad Bunny's not going to be able to get this Regieleki into the goal zone, but Inteleon's still going to throw some more liquidation pellets down on the squad.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, this Crustle's playing out of their mind. That peel for the Inteleon was just so picture perfect. Not only that, but then Inteleon on their second life was able to take out that Zacian after hitting a nice little acrobatics. But Kyogre entering the fray in our game number 1. Pit position kind of split here. Both sides very patient to play.
We don't quite have the Unite move back on the Inteleon, so they're going to be getting a couple more bits of experience. Now they do have it, so 5 Unite moves on CC Yellow, and we're just missing the Crustle's Unite move currently. So Bad Bunny is potentially looking to hold off just a little bit longer, but this is going to be really a brawl of the Unite moves here. Great back cap here from this Talonflame, increases the score lead for CC Yellow, but Bad Bunnies looks like they're going to jump in, Kyle.
Yeah, rips on. Talonflame hits the Flame Sweep, but it's a little bit early, and Inteleon is able to get it. CC Yellow falling down like dominoes. Bad Bunnies moving towards the goals. Talonflame looking for a score on the backside. I'm not sure how much points they have in pocket, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Bad Bunnies gonna deposit all of their Aeos energy in. 404, 250 with a minute to play.
You know, I keep like trying to color up like right until the fight breaks out and then like give it over to you. But these rips are like so ridiculously fast that I'm like in the middle of my sentence, like, oh, it looks like the fight started. I'm gonna have to hand this cast over to Kyle. And then the Kyogre's down already. I'm like, well, you know. Whoops, sorry you didn't get the best play of that fight. But that Kyogre got absolutely eviscerated. And somehow, even without Snipe Shot, Bad Bunnies and Inteleon's still the one to secure it.
We'll look to practice that. We'll get the timing down. But either way, we have one final push here. CC Yellow looking to siege this T2 goal zone. Scyther on the backside looking for a nice little 50. Oh, they're going to score a bunch. 45, ooh. That's going to double it. That's going to give Bad Bunnies the deficit now. CC Yellow making a push. Scyther looking to score on the front end. Talonflame with the amazing defense. Are they going to hold on? Scythe, they're looking to get it. Did they get that 100? They did.
They got
but
it.
Points
They
on
got
the
the 100
back end.
for
CC Yellow got some.
No, but I think the 100 was it. The Scyther did get the 100. I don't know how they did.
But there's 46. There's 46 by
But then they
Blastoise
had
on the front
46 and
end.
12. But they have 40.
Oh.
Who ended up getting it?
Oh! No
10 points. A 10-point differential there. The last 100. I don't know what happened on that other side. I saw Chimmy walk into their own central. I guess they were just trying to heal and then make it back, and the scoring speed was too fast, and security able to get that 100 points. I don't think Bad Bunnies realized how close it actually was, and CC Yellow did a great job of maximizing the amount of score that he get on that tier 2 goal zone to put them in the lead. What an insane end to that game.
That was crazy. I honestly, like, once that 100 went in, I was like, okay, they got it. And then I saw Blastoise score, and then what was it? The Wigglytuff score like 12 or something like that. I was like, I have no idea now. I did see exactly what the score line was, did all that math, but yeah, what an incredibly close game there. I honestly thought Bad Bunnies had it in the bag, and then chaos happened.
Yeah.
From downtown.
Yeah, I thought the Bad Bunnies for sure had that taken care of there after they got the Kyogre, it seemed like. But they had an opportunity. It was weird. I don't know if you caught it. They had an opportunity to throw another 100 in with Blissey, and they just didn't. They elected to send Blissey back with a full pocket, and I think they thought they were really far ahead, like that they were much farther ahead than they actually were. And I don't think they expected CCL to maximize that score on the tier 2 goal zone. So, I mean, for both teams, I think it's safe to say there was a lot of back and forth, some different inting strategies going on between the two squads, but Bad Bunnies will come out on top. And I think that goes to show just how quickly the tides could be turned here in a potential game 2.
That was awesome. That was a fun game. I mean, back and forth. They had that last moment that I was like cool, calm, collect. I was like, yeah, they have a nice little T2 push. We'll see if they get anything. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, this is really close. They could do this. Yeah, very, very close. Bad Bunnies are able to hold on just by the skin of their teeth. But we'll get into game number 2 very soon. Anything in the draft, Husky, that you thought might have gone one way or another? Like, who do you think had the advantage in that one draft-wise? Or do you think anything needs to be changed for either of these teams?
I liked both compositions, and I liked both the strategies from these teams. I think both of them really wanted to be in team fights, and honestly, I didn't love the Scyther for much of that game, but then it really kind of started popping off about mid-game into that late game and looked really good. So it's kind of hard to say. Obviously, the team with the Blastoise, I feel like is always going to be the team I'm expecting to win, but that's not what we saw here in game number 1. So I wonder what teams are going to be looking to change up, if anything, going into the second game.
Yeah, we'll see. I think in game or our set 1, we saw the exact same band, so we'll see if the bands are going to stay the same or if they'll differ at all. We do have a little bit of information about what we're going to see here in game number 2. CC Yellow going to maintain on that first side, or that first pick side, that since they were the losing team. That was their option. They chose. They wanted pick our side selection first. And it looks like Bad Bunnies are going to choose the Kyogre map. So we're going to be pretty much same situation as game number 1.
Okay, yeah. So I wonder then if we will see the bands being changed up a little bit. We saw the bands allotted to all 3 megas from Bad Bunnies in game 1. I wonder if that's gonna change, and they are gonna want to ban out that Blastoise. They're gonna want to try to get it by not banning some of the other megas. I'm not really sure how this ends up going. I feel like both teams got to be pretty proud of how that game ended up turning out comp wise. I think they both just, maybe have to clean up the inting a little bit. Maybe in the end there, you send somebody back to help Talon to make sure that they can defend that. But, by the end of that game, it really was anybody's game. It's clear both these teams, like, they're very evenly matched.
Very, very. I mean, yeah, it was back and forth. It was Very close throughout. It seemed like every time somebody got some sort of footing or an advantage, there's an immediate counter punch from the other way. So we'll see if it's going to be closer. I expect CC Yellow to put their best foot forward and to try to tie this series up 1-1. We're going to get right into our draft for game number 2.
Yeah, so far, the squads keeping it the same. We've got the Umbreon banned. We've got a consideration of that Mega Charizard Y that's also going to be banned. I think we saw Psyduck and was a Vaporeon banned as well in CC Yellow. Doesn't seem like either team looking to switch anything up in terms of the bans.
And nothing just yet. We'll see if we get all 3 Megas that we had last game. CC Yellow, though, actually lining up this Scyther/Scissor ban. Scissor ban obviously will also ban Scyther since they are the same license, likely to target security from being able to take that Pokemon, because it definitely was probably the hardest thing for them to deal with.
Yeah, so that does mean that they're going to be able to get the Blastoise back if they so choose, and I feel like why wouldn't you pick Blastoise first? If it's on the table, I mean, why wouldn't you? And there it is. They do lock it in. Vaporeon is an option here for Bad Bunnies. They are going to consider it. I would like to see that Blissey again. Obviously, Blissey still just absolutely ridiculous. I wonder if teams are just bored of it and they just haven't been picking it as much as it deserves. But yeah, Blissey is still insane.
Let's see, very good into those very heavy carry Pokemon, but they are going to peel off of the Blissey for the time being. Gonna take that top lane presence of the Cerulege and attach this Vaporeon on it. So I think actually this is, the first time we're seeing Vaporeon this evening. It was banned in game number 1. Right now we don't see a Vanguard Bell on this Pokemon. I would be very surprised if we don't have that. I think that's a fantastic item for this Pokemon.
Yeah, I think either moveset could use a Vanguard Bell pretty well. I guess depending on what CC Yellow puts, you could potentially drop the Buddy Barrier, but yeah, I don't know. They might be considering it. It's still a very new item. Hard to tell exactly how it's beneficial for every single Pokemon that does CC at this point, but we do see the Blissey coming back, so I do love that. Set up for a safeguard, so that I wonder if we'll see healing on the Vaporeon. It does now have the Vanguard Bell. I took off Soul Vest for it, so your call was correct. For once, the caster is not cursing.
A broken clock is right twice a day, Husky. So eventually I was going to be right. We'll see what this Mewtwo Y is able to do. I think we talked about it earlier. Mewtwo Y likely the best attacker, that and Miraidon seemingly like the few attackers that have gotten used over the last few weeks of the meta. But as I say that, we are going to see a Latios here from Bad Bunnies. I think this is a fantastic Pokemon. However, it does have some struggles in the early game. It takes quite a bit to get online, so look for Bad Bunnies to really try to focus on getting those Aeon stacks for their Latios.
Yeah, Latios is a scaling attacker that doesn't really farm well. For a lot of scaling attackers, they farm really well. Things like Cinderace and Greninja, they easily kind of hit that level 13. For Latios, it's a little bit different. So you got to make sure that you're allowing that as a team, you're allowing the resources to go into this Pokemon. And it makes me wonder if, is Latios good or is Latios just the better pick? But it does do a lot of damage if you can get it there. But that really, the question is if it can get to that point. On the other side, you have to have this Latios dealing with things like a Mimikyu, which if we're seeing the same build as last time, it can pretty much one-shot a Pokemon like that. So I guess, the Leafeon and the Cerulege are really going to have to set up this Latios for success.
We'll certainly see how this one goes, but we are going to see it very soon. This is going to be game number 2, CC Yellow and Bad Bunnies. CC Yellow going to be on your purple side. Bad Bunny is going to be on your orange side here in our Swiss round 2. And they're going to send this Mewtwo Y down to the bottom path. It's going to be Mimikyu taking the central area.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, there's only one option for central area, honestly. Yeah. Mewtwo Y farms so horribly. But when you see Cerulege heading up to this top path, trying to prevent this Magikarp from getting online, But with a Wigglytuff, that could be a little bit more difficult for them because of that cute charm plus the Sing that it will inevitably end up getting. This bottom path, though, just Vaporeon dealing with these two in the bottom, while Leafeon looks like they took half of that center area.
Yeah, gonna try to get this Latios online a little bit quicker, and Leafeon is gonna go immediately towards this Magikarp, unsuspecting. And then you're gonna go immediately in, and a nice little Razor Leaf is gonna send them scrambling back to that T1 goal zone. Mimikyu joining the fray up here. We were gonna have a 4-member push here for Bad Bunnies. Nice little Shadow Claw is gonna push this Chansey to use their X speed and kind of go back towards that T1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know when you're Bad Bunnies what you can actually do here. You don't have level 5 from the Latios, so it's still just kind of, doing whatever it can. 4v3 up here, though. We will see the Magikarp go down, and we do see an evolution somewhere it happened. Oh, the Blissey, evolved into a Blissey there, but they're going to get punished for a big Shadow Claw on top of the Latios, and that's exactly what you got to watch out for.
Man, very unfortunate, though, of CCL not having their Magikarp there, so unable to hit that effort gauge spike to get it evolved into that Mega Gyarados. However, they are going to continue pushing on in. Sing is going to go onto this Blissey, but a nice cleanse with that Safeguard. And now they're going to steal away some of this experience away from Bad Bunnies, and this Magikarp is going to be at a Gyarados very soon.
Yeah, it's almost there. It's going to evolve pretty quickly here. And in the bottom path, CCL seems to be doing a pretty good job as well. Latios is going to start being able to stack up a little bit, but I don't really know what it can do, honestly. You've got Mewtwo Y doing so much damage with those basic attacks. Here comes Leafeon. They're going to try to help. Great job from Latios for keeping them there, but will they be able to punish? Yes, they will. Leafeon gets 1 and 2, a double KO streak there for security.
And they're going to get some more stacks in for this Latios. Gets Shadow Tag met with Doom by this Mimikyu. Immediately sent back to the Pokemon Center. Wigglytuff going to try to frontline with some Sings. And Mimikyu is not really able to enter in. They were damaged very heavily. Going to hit that Shadow Tag. Go on to the Leafeon. Leafeon hits that Emerald 2-step, and Mewtwo Y is able to close out that KO. So, again, in this game number 2, we're going to have in this back-and-forth punch battle.
I mean, it was good for the Leafeon to be able to hit its Unite move, immediately use it, but I don't think that they meant to Aerial Ace that way. I think they meant to Aerial Ace the opposite direction because they were just way too low to continue jumping in there, and not surprising, a single basic attack able to do them in. Good flip turn here from the Vaporeon. They will be able to get safeguarded out, but right now CCL still does have control of this bottom path.
Trying to scramble away from this Mega Mewtwo Y. It just Mega Evolves, so they're not wanting to step in just yet. Mimikyu making a lot of damage onto this Regieleki, able to secure it too. Latios focusing on hitting those Aeon stacks. I'm going to try to now defend this T1 goal zone. Met with the Telekinesis. Gonna smooch that Regieleki. Another Emerald 2-step from Leafeon. Ooh. But Latios goes down into the Infinite Cyburn from the sky. Calling in some reinforcements, looking to take down this Vaporeon now. Blastoise sends them back.
Yeah, perfectly timed Infinite Cyburn as well. As soon as the Leafeon came out of the Play With Me Unite move, it was immediately slashed in half by that Infinite Cyburn. So great timing there from them. CCL once again having a really good early game, and Bad Bunny's going to have to start getting those scaling Pokemon up to scale with what CCL is bringing right now.
Try to defend this T1 goal zone. Wigglytuff kind of hovering and watching. Now going to engage with a nice little Sing. Safeguard's already up, but it's on the Vaporeon. Ceruledge going to have to go underneath ground to stay alive. Gyarados in the back line hits a Dragon Breath, sending Blissey back to the Shadow Realm. Vaporeon able to go down, or Mimikyu able to take out that Vaporeon, and Wigglytuff still staying up very close in. Gonna get stunned up by the Telekinesis. Ceruledge breaks through all of those shields underneath damage, and it's Wigglytuff going back to the Pokemon Center that time.
I mean, at least if you're Latios, you know that this team loves to brawl, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities to just hit your Dragon Pulse and build up some of those stacks, even if you do get dove. Great Revenant Ren here, but into the play rough immediately on top of the Vaporeon. I don't think that's who the Mimikyu looked to hit. We do see that the Leafeon gets taken down here, but the Mimikyu will also be punished. Gyarados, though, jumping in on everybody. Huge double KO streak, looking for 3. Got their 3. Will they be able to get 4? Trying to get it, they will, but they will get punished for it there by the Latios.
Latios just trying to hold the door on this T1. Does so fantastically. Also getting these Eon stacks in. Blissey with a great body block. Otherwise, I wonder if Latios goes down right there. These telekinesis are super fun to watch, too. They're hitting some big skill shots and stunning up CC Yellow. Now we have a Regirock on the menu. 2v4 Bad Bunnies with the advantage. We go with the Hydro Typhoon into the eject button, into the Hydro Pump. Blastoise sends that Latios back to the Pokemon Center. Now a Surf into the fellow water type Vaporeon. This Blastoise making quick work of it. Regieleki goes to CC Yellow on the bottom path as that pushes T2. And it's CC Yellow full sending on this top side. However, Leafeon with a perfect Emerald 2-step to secure the Regirock.
Yeah, but in the bottom path, you do see the Gyarados jumping into that back line, trying to get this Regieleki in. Vaporeon is down there, as well as Latios, and the rest of the cavalry is here to defend. We've got Ceruledge now chasing them down. Revenant Ren hits absolutely no one. May as well just use it for fun here, just to chase him off a little bit harder.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Bad Bunnies, but they did accomplish the task of defending that T2 goal zone. And so far, they've held this T1 goal zone. However, this might be a very difficult task there. We have a Side Strike connecting on the Leafeon, sending them back to T2. Vaporeon trying to hold this T1. This little flip turn there onto the Gyarados, but Mimikyu sends them immediately back. Going to look to do some math. 32 in. That is a 29 overcap. CC Yellow extending their advantage.
Yeah, not too much you can do there to defend. Not everyone's there, and you know, once one squad's got the momentum, then you're doing pretty well. 40 points trying to go in, just stopped here from the Blastoise, but we can already see that the Latios has gotten a good amount of stacks of their Dragon Pulse in. They're just going to keep hitting this Blastoise. We do see that the Shred, you know, not too bad here in this late game. Is it going to be enough, though, to win this endgame fight?
We'll see. 40 seconds until our Kyogre and CC Yellow in the driver's seat right now. Look at these levels, Huskies. You have 2 level 13s, that Gyarados and the Mimi.
Yeah, looking pretty good for them as well. And, you know, you need the Ceruledge to get that level 13 Wigglytuff trying to get 10 points in. Not quite able to. Oh, there it is. All right, 10 points in for the Wigglytuff, you know, I guess. But, and now the Blastoise trying to get them out of here as well. Big Surf on the Leafeon. There's 4 members now chasing down CC Yellow. Could have been a pretty significant int here if you're this Blastoise. If they do end up going down, and they will, Latios will get the credit for that KO, and that's pretty good for them. But the Mimikyu does shadow tag the Latios, decides not to take it. Vaporeon into the back line, and already this fight is breaking out, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyogre already starting to get chipped. Nice little shadow tag into there. And Ceruledge goes down. Great KO from the Mimikyu. Blastoise goes down without using the Hydro Typhoon. Gyarados into the front line, able to take down 1, able to take down 2. Vaporeon scrambling. And CC Yellow has knocked down 3 members. Psy Strike going to connect on this Leafeon. Slaps on the menu, boys. Bad Bunnies going down. CC Yellow taking the big fish.
Wow, big for CC Yellow. This is looking like it's setting up to be a game 3, but it's not over yet. We do have some Unite moves still available for Bad Bunnies. They could look to defend here. Big 78 points here for this Wigglytuff. Another 3 in the top path, and the rest of CC Yellow is going to try to push into this home goal zone.
Going to try to score a little bit more. Might also peel off. There's still 1 minute to play. 300 points separate these two teams exactly. Nice little play there from the Latios. There's that Unite move, looking to try to steal some of these shields away. Oh, no! Revenant Ren misses once again. Hydro Typhoon is going to hit a pair. Ceruledge looking like it going down. Leafeon does go down. Ceruledge eventually going down to this Mimikyu. 3 members down for Bad Bunnies with a 300-point deficit. This one's all but over.
Yeah, that was such a great line for the Revenant Rend, too, and everyone just moved out of the way at the perfect time and hit absolutely no one. And yeah, this is much clearer here in game number 2 that there is one advantage, and that is in favor of CC Yellow, which means we get to go to a game number 3, first one that we'll see of the evening.
Yeah, what a fantastic engage. Honestly, I love the play from Bad Bunny as they had that Blastoise down, and they had an opportunity. They tried to seize it, but you have to really hand it to that Mimikyu. They hit a Shadow Sneak from downtown, I believe, onto either the Kyogre or the Ceruledge. Either way, result was the same. They were able to take down Ceruledge, and from there, that fight kind of was all Gyarados.
Yeah, Cirilla just didn't seem to have that good of a game, honestly, in this game number 2. They just missed a lot of their moves. They were going really deep into fights they couldn't win. It was just kind of clear that they weren't necessarily in it, and a lot of that was probably because they were playing like they were ahead, but they weren't actually ahead for the entirety of that game. So, even with the Leafeon doing pretty well, 6 KOs for them, the regular Gyarados proving just as strong as the Mega. Who needs it? You can get 10 KOs, 83,000 damage easy with just the regular version of this thing.
Yeah, regular Gyarados. Mega was banned. I'm sure I said Mega Gyarados at least once through that match. I'm sure I did. But yeah, either way, looking pretty strong. I think like when you have some of these Mega Pokemon, usually their kits get buffed a little bit on the regular side before they end up getting released. And Gyarados still pretty dang strong all-rounder in their own right, and you're seeing it there. Taking a look at the objectives, Regirocks. Actually, I think I got my graphic wrong. 2 Regirocks were earned by the Bad Bunnies through that match, but those are the only objectives that they got.
Oh yeah, no, I see that though. One of them was given to the wrong side.
No
Whoops.
one saw anything. No one
that's
saw anything.
Not our fault, guys.
I did. It's production's fault, honestly. True.
Production.
Yeah.
Shiv somewhere. He's somewhere right now.
He's somewhere. He's
like
right
sleeping.
Probably.
He just like woke up in a sweat, in a cold sweat.
Pokemon Kyle Unite pressed the wrong button.
Kyle did something.
I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the purple rock on my Stream Deck. I have it all laid out on my Stream Deck, so I'm able to control most of it with just a press of a button, which is pretty nice. But when it doesn't account for user error, which I think is something that we overlooked.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
they didn't account for my stupidity.
Yeah, makes sense, but yeah, so game number 3, I wonder what we'll end up seeing here. It seemed to just kind of like, what are we watching right now? CC Yellow just kind of locked in game number 2. They just weren't losing any of the fights. It seemed like Bad Bunnies was just kind of able to take like some of the fights early and mid game, so they didn't really have to worry about scoring or anything, and then that ended up giving them enough to be able to deal with that end game fight. But in game number 2, CCL didn't really let Bad Bunnies win any of those early and mid game fights, and they also didn't really let them score, so they seemed at more of a disadvantage in game number 2.
Do how they change it in game number 3. I don't know. That game was super fun to watch. Kind of like in game 1, there's all these back and forths. There's a lot of like domination from CC Yellow, obviously, especially towards that late game, but they did end up inting there a little bit on that T2 goal zone. Wigglytuff tried to score that 10. They get KO'd. Blastoise try to join them to try to allow for a little bit more backing, and they end up going down as well. Pretty late, too. I think they had like a 20-second KO timer when Kyogre started, which allowed Bad Bunnies to have that little bit of an opening to start ripping. However, CCL responded absolutely perfectly. So we'll see if we're going to see any sort of inting by either of these teams. It's my favorite thing to do, personally, but we'll see.
Yeah, this is Int City here. And now we're going to game 3, which is even more int. Yeah, I've got nothing. Are we starting soon?
Yeah, we are starting soon. Bad Bunny is going to be on our first pick side, and we are going to be on Kyogre one more time. Oh, don't die, please.
So game 1 was, were they all? No, game 1 was Groudon, wasn't it?
No, they've all been Kyogre this series.
Okay, they've all been Kyogre. Game 1 was Groudon in the last one that we casted.
Yep, that's right.
So, yeah, so these squads seem to like the Kyogre map, which just makes the most sense to me because that's the one we're playing on right now. So if you're just sitting and picking up a couple games of Unite, you're going to play on Kyogre. So it's probably just more second nature for both of these teams to just want to pick the Kyogre so they don't have to think about the map differences as much. But yeah, I mean, I see why Groudon is also pretty solid too.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are really solid. I think, like you said, you're more used to Kyogre. You're able to get those reps in to understand, what your win cons are, especially if you get the Kyogre or if you lose the Kyogre. So I do like seeing teams pick the Kyogre map a little bit more frequently. I think you just have a lot more repetitions on it in those late game situations. You better know what you need to do to win or potentially throw the game and lose, or what not to do to throw the game and lose. But let's get into game number 3. Got the draft going. Bad Bunnies now going to be on your purple side. CC Yellow now going to be on your orange side. And results are mostly the same. A lot of the Mega Pokemon getting picked.
Yeah, but this time Bad Bunnies is going to take out the Blastoise if they don't want to deal with that. So either they, don't want to have to first pick it, or they don't want to give it over in that second pick. So they're just going to be the ones to ban it out. And they're also going to ban out this Mimikyu, which has been really good for CCLO.
Yeah, I like this ban, honestly, because CCLO actually played it very, very well in both games. And we are going to see which Pokemon is going to get picked in this first slot. Blastoise being banned this time. Vaporeon going to be the Pokemon of choice for Bad Bunny. Q-Lagging asks, do both teams vote on which map they want? So the loser gets to choose either side selection or map selection. So if the loser chooses that they want side selection, they'll choose side selection and which side that they want, which will allow the other team to choose map selection. If the loser decides that they would rather have map selection, they will choose the map, and then the other team will choose either first or second pick.
Yeah, so in this case, Bad Bunnies lost last game, so they picked first pick. CCL picks the Kyogre map, and now this is why we got to where we are. So, notably, I was trying to figure out which Pokemon was banned that wasn't banned in this one, and it was the Umbreon. So we will see Umbreons on the Umbreon, which is insane. I feel like the world, everything's aligning where it should be. The world is healing. Seeing Umbreons on the Umbreon. But on the other side, Security going back to the Scyther, which was banned from him, keep in mind, game number 2. So was that the secret to their success? I guess we will be figuring it out.
We will certainly figure it out. We're going to figure out if this Buzzwole is going to be able to counter punch the all-rounder squad for Bad Bunnies. It'll likely be Scyther again, obviously more of a speedster, but still the Zacian able to be that brawler. And I love Buzzwole, and I think if it's into the right matchup, it could do really well. Bad Bunny's gonna line up this Latios again. I personally love Latios. I think it's super fun. It did get online pretty early, so I imagine CC Yellow wants to stop that a little bit earlier this time.
Latios was good, just with the Mimikyu, there really wasn't the protection that they needed. So Bad Bunnies might be thinking, okay, we banned out the Mimikyu, I feel a little bit better about this, but now we've got a Leafeon on the other side. Security goes back to the Scyther, Leafeon goes to the opposite side. So is the Latios going to be protected? I mean, it's pretty good, but it's really, really squishy. So, kind of depends on how Bad Bunnies plays it. But I like these team comps that we see here. Some interesting picks. We see that Cerulege not getting picked up this time. We've got the Zacian instead, and then we're also pivoting over to the Buzzwole, which we also see sometimes, but not as often as we used to.
Mm-hmm. I love Buzzwole. I think it's super fun. And I think the other thing that we're seeing, this is a Pokemon that always gets picked no matter the meta. It just always seems to find a way. Is that Mew? I know we talked about it too much. I think it's, when we don't have a ton of attackers that get played right now, still Mew finds a way. Obviously has a lot to offer with its Unite move, being able to just escape pretty much on cooldown. And then also just the plethora of abilities that it could have given all the different situations during the match.
Yeah, it has a lot of versatility, which I think is part of its vibe. But we see that we got a lot of comfort picks. I like looking at who's got what ribbons. We've got 2 gold ribbons, gold ribbon Leafeon, blue ribbon on the Umbreon and the Mew. So these players know how to play these Pokemon.
Let's get into game number 3. Both of these teams are looking to add a W in their column going into our round 3 matchup is going to be Bad Bunnies on the top side, sending the Zacian Blissey. And to counter that, CC Yellow going to be Umbreon on the Umbreons, or Umbreons on the Umbreon, along with the Buzz.
We'll get that eventually.
Yeah.
Production.
Ban this
Production.
man.
Fix Kyle. Anyway, we've got the Electro Ball coming down. Mew looking for some stacks early with 6 points. Gonna be a little bit difficult. They're gonna get punished for it. Not able to get in those 6 points, and no early stack for the Mew.
Oof. Yeah, that's pretty tough there because you also yield some experience over to this Latios who is starving for that level 5. Leafeon coming up early towards this top side. Gonna get immediately met with doom from the Zacian slicing through. Make that a 2-for-1 combination. They're gonna look for this Buzzwole. Burns in a jet, gets a Citrus Berry, but has to watch as some points go in.
Yeah, points go in here. 16-6 right now in this early game. So Bad Bunnies, for once, actually leading with score a little bit early. But Birds have hit the map here. Buzzwole looking for a level 5. Are they able to get it off of this? Not quite, but they're pretty close.
Pretty close indeed. You're going to fight over a little bit of positioning as Leafeon goes back towards their central area. Mew's going to go back to base the long way. Recharge that HP bar. It's going to be this Swinub trying to just hold the door. And look at that, Husky. Is that a Draco Meteor, Latios?
Okay, interesting. So this time, we're not going to go with the Dragon Pulse. We're going to be raining the meteors down. And when you get those Eon stacks on Latios, those Draco Meteors really hit. They're just all over the place. It looks like the end of the dinosaur era by the time you get to... By the time you get to some of these endgame fights for this top path, Bad Bunny's looking to punish here. They will lose the Scyther. But Blissey and Zacian will clean it up with a 2 KO streak for this Blissey.
Yeah, just slapping them with that helping hand boosted auto. Very good stuff here for Bad Bunnies. The mean look, not mean enough. Regidrago still on the menu in the central area. Neither team has really pivoted towards it just yet. Piloswine hiding in the tall grass. Vaporeon trying to snuff them out, seeing if they could score this 22 points in. Instead, they are going to just hold this out, maybe go for this Regidrago. Oh, they're going to connect with some Dracos onto the Piloswine and snuff out exactly where they are. Go for those 720 birds. Bad Bunnies clears up most of them.
Latios going to want to do their best just to throw some meteors down. Just if you connect at all, it gives you a couple stacks of the Eon power. So just doing that as much as possible is really going to be the name of the game here for this Latios. So if they can just, even if they have to walk a little bit too far forward in this early game, you know, that's the time where you're going to want to int a little bit.
Maybe just a little bit. A little bit of inting as a treat is always fine. Nice little pull there. Oh my goodness, the Emerald two-step starting to work for CC Yellow. However, Scyther, the green illusion dive is better than the Emerald there as they get a 3-piece combo. Looking to score into this T1 goal zone. Going to leave this at 3. See if we can get this Regieleki in. Actually break this goal zone before Zacian's able to rip it down. And CC Yellow going to try to respond, but it's going to be a little too late.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing why this Scyther was banned out from security in game number 2. They're just doing so well with it. They have at level 10 already, and we don't even have the Leafeon there just yet. Buzzwole just now taking into that level 9, so not too bad here for CC Yellow, but they're definitely not used to being behind at this point in the game.
Regirock on the menu now. Bad Bunny is now peeling towards this while CC Yellow has to deal with that Regieleki. Able to clear it off pretty quickly. Now they're going to make their way towards this T1 goal zone. Nice little Ice Fang going to separate the Scyther away from the fight. Another Emerald two-step. They're going to take out the Blissey. Umbreon going to steal some of those shields away. Nice little play there for Bad Bunny's. Mew tries to eject Beam. Unable to hit that Scyther. Close them out. More meteors fall into the sky from this Latios. Mystical Mirage going to hit the mark here for CC Yellow. Another Solar Beam. And they're going to hit that. Muted Auto, unfortunately, connects on the Swablu family. Instead, it's going to be Bad Bunnies pressing forward. Blissful Assistance now. They're going to continue pushing. This fight's lasted forever. Piloswine holding the door zone, but unfortunately, going to not get a push in for Bad Bunnies. CC Yellow able to hold.
Yeah, Buzzwole, though, came up from the top and I guess, down from the top. I don't know why I said up. When it's up, you go down, and that means that it went down. Anyway, Buzzwole came down and ended up getting a triple KO streak, just walked right up to the Latios, and Bad Bunnies was kind of like, oh, I forgot there was a whole other Pokemon that we weren't accounting for here, and they were able to just easily get a couple KOs, but easily getting a KO up in the top path is the Zashi, and just one quick Metal Claw, and that Mew is absolutely demolished.
Yeah, there's a couple moments there, Mew, I think, kind of a victim of an unfortunate auto lock. I think their Mucid auto, they tried to get it on the Latios, but it connected on the Altaria, and then they get immediately blasted by the Unite move from Latios. Buzzwole gonna be in a little bit of a bind here. 1v4, gonna get sliced down by the Zacian. Now CC Yellow's making their way towards this Regieleki, and they should be able to clear it pretty quick.
Yeah, it was a valiant attempt from that Buzzwole, but Bad Bunny is going to be easily able to get this one. Still, CCL on the bottom path able to get some good points in. Now 158, just Vaporeon trying to deal with this and see if they can defend against this 40 points trying to go in from this Mamoswine, and it looks like it will be enough to chase them out because Bad Bunny's sending this Regieleki walking, and it will be able to break this goal zone. What a huge oversight from CCL.
Oh my gosh, look at all these meteors falling down too, just dishing out tons of damage for Bad Bunnies. And they have a pretty good lead now, 211, 158, 330. There's also still this basement Reggie that either team could go for, but they're mostly fighting for positioning because both of these T1s are up.
Yeah, it was a really weird decision for CCL. You had 3 members down in this bottom path trying to push against one Vaporeon, while Regieleki was walking up at the top path. I don't think they expected them to push it in that far, but all 4 members were up there, and they were easily able to win that fight. I just don't think that CC Yellow actually expected them to, but they do have good positioning for this Regice, and look at those Draco Meteors. Now, at this point in the match, they are just hitting, and this Mamoswine has to use a Unite move just to get out there. That's a late Unite move, especially for a Mamoswine.
Very late Unite move. Mew's going to connect with an Electro Ball secure for that Regice. However, a ton of points went into that home goal zone from Bad Bunny, so they're happily going to yield that for that exchange. Now, all 5 members of CC Yellow down in the bottom path. Again, Leafeon going for the Vaporeon, unable to connect the KO. Very high HP pool for this Vaporeon. Another set of meteors going to connect on that Mew. And they are raining down hard right now.
Well, now that there's so many stacks on the Draco Meteors, you could just kind of toss them anywhere, and it's just going to throw meteor after meteor down. It does so much more damage than you think it does, especially because it's so weak in that early game. I think the problem is going to be if this Latios gets dove by this Leafeon, you know, it could end up being game over. You don't have that consistent area effect damage, but they've been playing around it really well. The Vaporeon as well has been doing a great job of insulating them, and you know, it's going to kind of be up to this Scyther to start this fight when they feel like it, or this Leafeon on their side to start this fight, get a good pick, and we still could see this go either way.
Really could. Mucid Auto connects on the Vaporeon. Kyogre going to attack the Mew. Nice little telekinesis from the Latios. Also set of meteors going to fall down. Neither team really wanting to engage. Metal Claw's going to engage on the Mew. More meteors with the follow-up. Buzzwole looking for the front line now. Also looking into the back line. They're going to eject into the back line. They're going to get met with a little bit of damage. More meteors falling down from them. Zacian going to try to slice through the Mamoswine, but a good punch from Buzzwole keeps them healthy. We just saw the Leafeon go down, unfortunately, and now we have a Vaporeon going on in for a Unite move. Buzzwole going to counter them. Vaporeon goes down. More meteors falling from the Latios. Eon Blast from the Latios. 3 members go down for CC Yellow, make it 4. Mew on the back foot. They go down. Bad Bunnies. You're going to ask the question. There's the answer. Kyogre on the menu, and they're going to get their points in.
That was an absolutely huge Eon Blast, too. There's nobody that can block it when you're all that low HP. So you end up just getting ripped apart by it there. 100 points will go in. Bad Bunny's now in the lead. Big set of meteors to take down the Mamoswine. I don't know if CC Yellow is going to be able to do anything here to defend as these meteors are raining down on this Tier 2 goal zone. 455 to 158, and security is going to keep cleaning up the squad.
They're going to try to go for one final defensive stand here, our CC Yellow. However, 2 members still down, make it just 1. Actually, Mew just immediately gets blasted by this Vaporeon. More points in for Bad Bunnies, and this one's going to be all but over. One final stand for the Scyther to pad stats. They're able to get another couple KOs. Bad Bunnies, they're going on with the W in the win column.
Yeah, I mean, game number 1 to game number 2 seemed like Bad Bunnies had lost their spark, but in game number 3, they really brought it back. They got the Scyther again, and they were really able to make that drive. And maybe the Draco Meteors were the call because it looked pretty good. The Latios, I mean, it looked good in game 2 as well. But
Mhm.
I'm starting to believe in the little jet plane.
I've been playing a lot of Latios this season. I've now have a very big love for Draco Meteor. My moveset of choice was always Dragon Pulse, but the last week or so I've been playing a lot of Draco Meteor with telekinesis. And I tell you, I have been having a lot of fun with it. It's just so funny at the end game, just seeing all of them just come smashing down and just blasting them. And especially when you have like teams that kind of want to group up a little bit, it makes it really easy to get those stats.
Yeah, and look at this, 112,000 damage for the Draco Meteors. It's I guess don't sleep on Draco Meteor. It looked
Yeah.
really good, and still 85,000 from security. This game was definitely all Bad Bunnies, and CCL just couldn't keep up for the entire time. But it was a good set, our first 3-game set of the evening, and very shortly we're going to see another couple of sets. I believe most of them in round 3 have already started, or they're going to be starting very soon. But yeah, we've seen a good couple of sets here.
Couple good sets. We have more on the way, but that is going to be it for Husky and I for the evening. We're going to bring in Meowry along with Jonathan Hyde to bring you in for those last 2 sets. Husky, any final words before we get you on over to bed and so you could get some nice rest to heal up?
Yeah, sorry, Scuffed. It's just a cold, but still, it doesn't feel, fantastic. But it's always fun to watch some Pokemon Unite. 10 minutes, maybe something particularly interesting will maybe be happening in the Unite scene, so keep a lookout this evening. And that's all.
That's all. Alrighty. Well, we're going to take a quick break while we get those next round matchups set up. So don't go too far, folks. More Underdunk 72 will be back after this. There we go. I'm going to unclick that. Underdunk number 70. I caught it right away. Normally, I don't catch it right away, but I caught it right away. Underdunk number 72. We are back. And I brought in Hyde along with Meowry for our next two sets. We'll start with how everybody's doing. We'll start with you, Meowry. How are you doing today? I see your cat in the background.
I'm doing good. They're having a really good time right now, so that'll be fun to get little peeks of. They've got a little platypus toy, and I've seen him getting thrown around a little bit, so watch out for a little blue guy getting thrown around. But I'm doing really good.
Excellent, excellent. Jonathan Hyde, how are you doing, my friend? How you doing?
I can't complain too much. I got to see some Tyranitar tonight, game one, so I'm like, hell yeah! Now we just got to convince people to bring in Duraludon, and we're good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Duraludon would be super fun. I'm really excited to see that. I do want to just share a couple bits of information before we get into our draft. The first one being we are doing a fundraiser. A fellow Pokemon member, community member / professor needs some of our help. ! Fundraiser is our good friend George, who is trying to raise some money. He is battling stage 5 chronic kidney failure. Could use a little bit of the community's help to try to fund some of those medical expenses. So if you are able to, any donations obviously are very much appreciated. The GoFundMe is in that ! The other bit, I just dropped it in chat, and that is a letter from the developer from Pokemon Unite. So while you're watching this next game, as we get into that, maybe take a look at that. But with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Meowry for our...
Yeah, so it looks like we are heading into the draft here. We've got Phantom Thieves versus Final Exam here. Vaporeon is immediately banned out by Phantom Thieves alongside Umbreon. No Eevee love so far from them. Final Exam going with the Psyduck ban, and we're looking at a Mega Lucario next.
I mean, Final Exam has Elopappy. Elopappy has Sylveon. If you want to round out the triple EVs, you got to throw the Sylveon up there. But it looks like Phantom Thieves is not going that route. They said, listen, Darkrai's a little bit more dangerous in their hands, so we got to take care of that sucker. We got to get them out of here. Now Elopappy's the one in the ban slot. Now they're like, oh crap, we can't ban the Sylveon out. That's against me. Who do we want to ban out though? Urshifu has seen a resurgence lately, and Final Exam does not want to see it.
No, they do not want to see it. I am interested to see who Banana Tailpipe decides to go ahead and pick up for their team first, whether or not they go for one of their own supports or if they go for that tank pick there. Looks like they're going ahead and grabbing Mega Charizard. Why here? Banned so incredibly often in these tournaments. Or did I say banned? Picked so incredibly often when it's not banned. And we have Mega Gyarados picked for the side of Final Exam alongside the turtle that I thought was going to Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, the two most powerful Mega Pokemon in the game picked right off the bat. Not surprising to see both teams pick it up right off the bat there. But great support options coming in as well. JC on the Blastoise, Robin on the Mr. Mime. Both Pokemon able to output great engages, great CC and stuns, and create spacing for their attackers.
For sure here, we do see Phantom Thieves going for a Mr. Mime as well as a Mega Mewtwo Y. So all of the Ys are there on the side of Phantom Thieves. Machamp is also picked out. Final Exam going for Mimikyu. I've seen tons of that thing out. That thing can do tons of damage. No surprises to see it. They pick Eldegoss for their support here. And Banana Tailpipe is going to finish off Phantom Thieves draft with a Blissey pick.
Oh, yeah. Blissey is going to be really strong. I love the Machamp here as well. Coming in. Great Pokemon to come in as a support type option with that submission. You grab a Pokemon, you pick it down, and the rest of the team collapses and feasts upon the Pokemon, sending them back to Nurse Joy to get healed back up and just put back into the arms of Machamp. I mean, bro's got 4 of them. That's some damage coming your way.
That is quite a bit of damage coming your way. And we do also have base Lucario here for Elopappy. I have not been able to see Elopappy play the Lucario, so that's going to be really interesting. I've seen the Cinderace and the Sylveon from them, But I know they can put out tons of damage, so I'm interested to see the Lucario. We've got the 2 all-rounders there with Lucario and Mimikyu, Blastoise, Mega Gyarados. That looks kind of nasty for sure.
I'm a little worried there for Final Exam there. I know they got the Mega Gyarados and they got the Mimikyu there, but Phantom Thieves is looking incredibly bulky there. I mean, they got the Mr. Mime. They've got that Blissey now to add additional bulk to one of the other targets, whether that's the Charizard at Y or whether that's going to be the Mewtwo Y. We got a lot of Ys coming in for Phantom Thieves. You think they're okay if they keep asking Y a lot?
They might be having a bit of an existential crisis there with all of the Ys. So we'll see if they're able to resolve that as we are heading into our first game of this set. Phantom Thieves is going to be our purple team and Final Exam is going to be our orange team. Down this bot lane, we've got Mr. Mime and Mewtwo Y. Up this top lane for Final Exam, we've got Eldegoss and our Magikarp going top.
Being wary of invades there, doing a quick little check, but also going straight for it ourselves. Gossifleur invading a Charmander there. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we're already got the pressure on from the side of Phantom Thieves. Mr. Mime, Mewtwo, way coming through, doing a lot of damage, taking up a lot of that experience there as well. Not a scrap of it going to the side of Final Exam. Despite the pressure, they're going to have to back off.
They're going to have to back off there. Gossifleur is able to pull in pretty far. We're going to want to get this Magikarp online as quickly as we can. Our central path, Mon there, who is Charmeleon, is up this top lane. Mimikyu gets a nice little KO there on our Machamp and is heading for this Charmeleon as well. Does end up taking them down, which is a nice little couple early KOs there for Final Exam. And they're getting some little scores in as well.
Yeah, Phantom Thieves just shy of their power spikes here. Final Exam not letting them get it. They get the KO on the Magikarp throw, but the clapback take down the Machop. Machop does look just shy of that level 5. Got to be Machoke to get that submission. Start suplexing some peeps.
For sure. And we do see here down this bot lane, Lucario is trying to snag as much farm as they can from this Mr. Mime here. We're getting some scores in down this bot lane as well. 10-68. Mewtwo Y is mega, though. He is putting in tons of work here. This bot lane is suddenly empty. Mime gets a 2 KO streak here, and Phantom Thieves puts more points on their side of the board.
Submission now online there for the Machoke. There's a grabs the Gyarados, going straight in for the damage, but the damage was too great for Final Exam. They must have studied because they took it down lickety-split. Now they're looking to take down Charmeleon. It's also gone. Denying Blissey and Berry as they put the scores in, but getting the stacks and putting on the attack weight.
They are indeed. They're really going back and forth pretty early in this game here. Lucario is still getting some stacks in where they need it here. We're sitting at about the 7-minute mark here. No objectives just yet. Blissey might be in a little bit of trouble, though, as this Gyarados is doing a lot of damage here. They're kind of forced to stay in that bush. Gyarados didn't want to chase him too much, but the Machamp does take some hits from them as well. We are 20 seconds away from our Reggie spawning in on the map here.
132-57, maintaining a great lead here. Final Exam is. We have Unite moves on the Mimikyu there, and everybody else not too far behind. So Final Exam's having a good showing exactly why it is they were the winners of Underdunk 71. So coming into this, Phantom Thieves needs to start looking to group up a little bit for more of these fights. Take them a little bit more of a 5-man, try to get some points, get those crucial stacks in, because the blessing of Reggie Rock is now playing for Final Exam.
It is indeed. Mimikyu is leading them on those levels there. We saw a little bit of an engage there. Gyarados is able to pull away, grab some berries, though. Lucario's taking no prisoners, though, but they decide to not go ahead and score. They just get that KO, and they pull away from that pad. Final Exam is also looking like they're positioned pretty nicely to go ahead and take this Regieleki for their side as well. Eldegoss gets the last hit. Mewtwo Y might be mega, but that is not looking like it will be enough for this Mimikyu here.
Skeleton Pie laying down the beatdown. Lots of auto attacks coming in from it. Huge damage coming in as they're able to take down the Mimikyu now. They're on the chase with Christian there. Hit them with the Psy Strike. Lots of damage coming through. But there's the Elo Poppy. They're getting ulted. The Charizard Y Seismic Slam coming down. And they're pushing this pad hard.
Yeah, no, Phantom Thieves did a really great job pulling down, grabbing that Mimikyu out, getting the good KO on that there. That's a good pick for them. The Blastoise is pretty low here for final exam. Great job. They've got that tier 1 down. Mine might be in trouble, though, as the Gyarados does come out. He's a mega. He's ulting. That's a 2 KO streak back for the side of final exam.
40 points in the pocket, Mega Evolution online, but there's Machamp. It's got the Barrage Blow in the pocket as well. It's ready to go. It's ready to flaunt it, but no! They get the KO. Lickety-split. Can't stop it there. The Mewtwo keeps targeting the Mimikyu. They're able to break the pad, furthering their lead, 259 to 121.
259 to 121. We're at the 5-minute mark here. Another Reggie will be spawning in 15 seconds. And you look at the points on the board here, you look at the levels, and it's final exam that's currently in the lead, but the Seismic Slam comes out once again, Hyde.
Seismic Slam definitely come down to play with me. Mimikyu says, listen, come down here from your high pedestal. Get off your high horse, because we're going in. Get the 2 KO streak as Mr. Mime is taken down. Now the Machamp is gone as well. Final exam is keeping the pressure on, but we clap back and take down the Mimikyu. Final exam, some pressure there. Their momentum disrupted there as Regis Steele said, hi guys, I'm here too.
I'm here too, and he does go ahead and take some hits here. It's at about half health. This Gyarados is just able to, oh my goodness, the Blissey! It's the Blissey Banana Tailpipe snagging away the Regis Steele from final exam there. Huge ults are coming out here. This top path is just a war as the Mega Gyarados is out here fighting through that flex zone. The Blissey ult comes out on the Mega Mewtwo Y as well, and final exam is pulling away once again.
There could be another Regis Steele in the future there. I mean, but whoever it is, that's Kyogre that's going to be on the first map here. They got to watch out because you thought Blaziken was the king of Sakura. Well, Blissey here to make sure that they are crowned the actual king. They're crowned. They're going for the title there, Meowry. So we got 90 seconds left now until that Kyogre spawns. 187 to 266 there. So final exams looking pretty there, but the levels from Phantom Thieves slowly creeping up.
And you do see the Play With Me come out there. 2 KO streak from the Machamp. The Mimikyu is down once more. The Seismic Slam also came out on the side of Phantom Thieves. They're going to have to go farm those ults back quickly here. But yeah, Blissey is such a threat when it comes to these secures, and things are just moving so quickly. The Regieleki is snagged by Phantom Thieves once again with really not any contest there from final exam.
The clock is ticking down. Kyogre's looking hungry. They're like, listen, I'm almost here. That timer's coming in 13 seconds, and then doom and gloom be upon ye. But until then, 20 seconds till the next Reggie Roulette up in the top lane. That is enough time for one of the teams to rip it if they choose. But with the amount of time on the clock there, that could allow for the opposing team to get that crucial positioning in that central path.
It could, and we'll see what they decide. I think final exam and Phantom Thieves could potentially rip that down with enough time, but they're not electing to do so. We're choosing to get our pit positioning here. Mimikyu and this Mega Charizard are sitting at level 14. They're absolutely huge. So they are going to be key players to watch out for during this fight. It looks like we're getting started.
The Hydro Typhoon already comes out there. The Mr. Mime comes in with the showtime, ready to rock and roll. There we go. Here's the Lucario taken down. Final exam already had a huge disadvantage, followed up by the Mega Gyarados there. Now it's a 3-2v5 scenario. Final exam getting wiped off the board, sent back to the remedial classes as Phantom Thieves locks in Kyogre.
So the Kyogre is going to be grabbed by Phantom Thieves here. Machamp taking that last hit on it there, and we are heading towards this bottom tier 2 right now. Elo Poppy, the sole defender of this pad. We just go ahead and decide to back off to home pad here, but we could score twice here. That's a lot of points there for Phantom Thieves in already. That puts them in a nice little lead, but there's still a minute left of the match. What can we do to recuperate here, Hyde? What can we do to turn this back in our favor?
One Hundo Burger will flip the script back in Final Exam's favor. An easy way to get that done? Well, grab a buff, grab a KO. So Final Exam has to look for a KO. Phantom Thieves has to be very careful, but they don't give a hoot and a holler. They're going straight for the home pad. There's the Machamp. Now Final Exam is going to kick it into second gear. They're going to go, and their hopes are going to be dismayed the moment they see the rest of Phantom Thieves about to hit the home pad.
Yes, the Hydro Typhoon does come out here, and we are battling it out up this top lane, but tons of scores have come in for the side of Phantom Thieves. Final Exam kind of getting caught in that flux zone a little awkwardly there, but we do get 100 in from the Mimikyu. It just is not going to be enough with the amount of damage that Phantom Thieves has currently. This is going to be going on our purple team's side this time.
And I really enjoyed this round from Phantom Thieves as well, personally. I mean, Final Exam was dominating that early game. They were going hard, but Phantom Thieves recognized where they're able to find small pushes. They're able to take experience away, start taking the fights back, and all of a sudden they flipped the script. They had a more powerful Pokemon in the Charizard Unite with that sudden burst. On top of that, we didn't really get to see it there, but the Charizard Unite, that Seismic Slam, can cancel either the Mimikyu's Play With Me or the Blastoise's Hydro Typhoon. Just straight up just says, oh, you're going to use that? Ain't going to happen. And that's always been a risk that Final Exam has gone into these fights. And yeah, Phantom Thieves did a really, really good job here.
I think they did too. Like you said, they were really struggling a little bit more throughout that early game. But you can see here they pulled it back here. The 94k from Skeleton Pie, the 77 from our Mega Charizard as well, 75k from our Mega Gyarados. Blissey was putting up some really good heals there as well, 68k, and the Eldegoss as well. And our Mime was also providing some great support also throughout.
I also want to look at Skeleton's damage taken, 30k. I mean, that's still on the high end for an attacker there, but that's still about the highest of the range you want to be. And they were doing a really great job of just being able to output a lot of damage while staying alive, staying up on the field. That's very important as an attacker because you're able to output that pressure, able to outswing battles in the momentum in your way. It's absolutely crucial.
Yeah, that definitely is a super crucial stat there. And you can see, I mean, the Mime was doing a lot of good work there. The 74k able to tank a lot for their side. But yeah, you could see through this, the point final. Phantom Thieves went ahead and passed that Final Exam there with 725, just really spiking up there through that last point in the match.
Yeah, and they had a control too early game Final Exam. That's what I loved about them too, is that they had really great early game control. They just started losing it off. But where Phantom Thieves came back, they also found really good KOs on Final Exam where they had those big beefy guys and they're just like gone, deleted, wiped off the map, and a comeback experience boosted them the extra level and a half that they needed to help them hit their hot power spikes, their evolutions, Unite moves. So you have to be very careful when you are ahead because making pushes becomes that much more dangerous.
It definitely does, for sure. There was a lot of crucial moments during that match. I think the Blissey snagging that top objective was a turning point for the confidence on the side of Phantom Thieves. They were waiting it out. They got their win, and they just kept on rolling with it throughout that. I mean, it was a great engage as well. You saw the Hydro Typhoon come out from the Blastoise, and then all of a sudden, where did Final Exam go? It got canceled. The teacher did not show up. Something happened. I don't know. But the Final Exam, it just didn't happen, Hyde. It just didn't happen.
It never happened at all. It didn't even get delayed or rescheduled. It was just flat out deleted. So, but I'm curious to see what kind of our Pokemon our players are going to be bringing into this next one as well, because we have a bit of we got some pretty unique players on the field here. Like, you got Skeleton Pie. They are really strong in Inteleon. They got some really good backup Pokemon such as Rhydon, Raichu, but Final Exam, they really like to throw a little bit of a loose cannon in there, like to throw a monkey wrench into your plans. They got Cinderace, which they're not afraid to take into the lane against you and perform well with. They also got Sylveon in the pocket as well, both in the hands of Elo Poppy. Meanwhile, MG is not afraid to whip out a Gardevoir. All-rounders, speedsters, attackers, you name it, they got it. And their favorite Pokemon to play, Gengar. You gotta be careful of that Gengar.
Yeah, no, Gengar is definitely a huge threat. If you're playing anything that's even slightly squishy and you see a Gengar, you might as well just take up residence at the Pokemon Center because you're going to be there like it's your home. I mean, it is just a menace out on this field. We are heading back into our ban phase, though. Final exam will be our purple team this time, and Phantom Thieves will be our orange. Here, looks like we're going to be starting this out with the Psyduck ban once again.
Yeah, Skeleton Pocket following up with the Charizard. Why? When you're not in that first pick position, this is not a monster you want to let through. Final exam found it the hard way, but Phantom Thieves just said, you ain't getting it. Mega Lucario are going to round out with the Blastoise there. One ban left for either team.
Oh, they went ahead and went for a Miraidon ban as well. I know you mentioned Skeleton Pie is pretty good on that Miraidon, so maybe we just don't want to see that guy at all today. I know I don't like seeing that guy. Vaporeon, Blastoise, and Mega Charizard. Why? We decided the Y was enough of a problem that we don't want it, so less existential crisis on the side of Phantom Thieves here, so maybe we're feeling a little more secure in our existence right now. Final exam is going for the Mega Gyarados pick here. I think that thing did a lot of work in that last round here, so it makes sense we're picking it again. Skeleton Pie said, if it works, I'm gonna just stick to it, and we grabbed the Mewtwo Y once again.
And since they banned it, the Blastoise, Banana Tailpipe's going to be bringing in that Umbreon. Umbreon's got that mean look. It's got that wish. So it's got pseudo stuff. Christian, I saw what you're doing there, brother. I know you're teasing me, and you either commit to it, or you know what? Just go Comfey at this point. But no, they're going to be bringing in the hoops.
I think they might be doing it as a meme at this point. If we just hover Sableye long enough, we know we're going to get Hyde yelling, so... But final exam did go for the Snorlax as well. That Snorlax is running the Vanguard belt, our newest item that has come to Pokemon Unite, so we'll get to see it in some play here. Phantom Thieves going for the Blissey once again. Did a lot of great work for them last round, as well as our anchor Pokemon, Delmise, who I forgot the name of for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, the anchor. What is his name? He is here, and it looks like Phantom Thieves might be going Urshifu.
Yeah, Urshifu, Delmise, great frontline Pokemon. Both pair well with a Blissey, especially if you're planning on healing. But they said, you know what? Mimikyu! That's a free Pokemon right now. Let's bring it in. It's the last one. It jumps in. We want to clutch out the win. But doth mine eyes deceive me? Final exams bringing in both the Sylveon and the Gengar. Listen, when you're in a best-of-3 scenario and you're down a game, you've got to bring out all the stops. And Final Exam just said, nah, we're bringing everything. We checked our notes.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's tough there for sure. Letting MG on the Gengar. I'm scared. I'm happy to see it. I'm excited to see it. An Elo Poppy on the Sylveon as well. That is going to be fun to watch for sure. Final exam also got the Hoopa as their supporter. Yeah, no, I saw the Gengar and something in me, I don't know, I shivered a little bit. I'm a little scared, Hyde.
I know, I saw it too, and I'm like, ooh. We also got that incense on the Sylveon, so that's going to mitigate any sort of healing that Blissey might be outputting. Pad pushes are going to be a little bit more detrimental as well, because that's also going to be affected by it. But then there's also the Vanguard Bell on that Umbreon, so that kind of tells me this Umbreon might be planning to play foul play into the Snarl, get a lot of CC out there, get a lot of the heals coming in, and hopefully the incense on the side of Final Exam is enough to help curb some of that.
I hope so for their sake. But going up this top lane, we've got our Magikarp and our Hoopa and Snorlax and a little Eevee down this bot lane for final exam. We're looking at Delmai's Blissey top lane for Phantom Thieves. Our Central Path mods, we're going to have some little ghosties in that central path with Mimikyu and Gengar. But heading down this bot lane, we're already doing some damage here. We're contesting these bunnies right now. Looks like Snorlax did manage to snag some. It's got some really great early secure there as well. But they also got an early KO for the side of Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, that early KO of the Eevee is crucial because that delays them from hitting that level 4. And that's a long walk of shame all the way back down to the bottom lane there from the home pad. You're like, it's not even the first minute. I'm already gone.
Yeah, no jump pads to help you with that. But it looks like we went for a little bit of a split central path situation here. Or no, Hoopa was defending against a little bit of an invade, I believe, in that middle area. But up this top lane, we do have some farm getting snagged once again. Phantom Thieves is up here. The Hyper Voice is out from Elo Poppy. It's going to be doing tons of damage. All three are within that Hyper Voice's range here, and Mega Gyarados is up this top lane as well.
Smart decision to do the 4-man army into the top. Lots of scores, lots of stacks. They got Snorlax versus Umbreon in the bottom lane there. That's not too much of an issue there. Neither Pokemon gives the other a really an advantage if it gets too far on levels. So this is kind of what you want. This is an ideal situation for final exam. They still have the score lead. Now they've maintained a level lead with that Haunter looking to catch up to the Mimikyu, though. Mimikyu just reaching that massive level 7.
Yeah, Sylveon's heading down to help with this bot lane once again. The Heavy Slam comes out. Our Mega Mewtwo Y is also out here. Sylveon is able to keep them pretty far back, though. It's hard to push in on a Hyper Voice Sylveon for sure. The Regidrago is very, very low, and it does end up going to the side of final exam.
Mimikyu dives in, accelerates, looking to grab a KO. There's one, there's two. They got the Shadow Tag on the Hoopa there, but they're not activating it. That might be a little bit too late there, but it's a trick Shadow Ball Hoopa. Oh, this could be looking to get that excellent there with that special defense drop for the Haunter, but immediately Mewtwo Y is take KO'd. Mimikyu's looking down. There's the screaming Sylveon coming out, screaming out on Phantom Thieves, taking them down one by one.
One by one indeed. Final exam is putting them to the test here. If you make the team name, I'm a make jokes about it. And I'm not going to stop. This Delmise is in trouble, though, as the Hyper Voice comes out, getting that last little bit of damage that it was on. And we have Gengar fully online for the side of Final Exam 2. They are in a good position here after grabbing this Regieleki uncontested, and they're moving through Phantom Thieves' central path as well.
They have 2 Unite moves in the pocket. They have the blessings of Regieleki playing for them. Delmise going to intercept. This means Phantom Thieves is coming down. The Fairy Frolic comes out. Registeel's down to a quarter of HP, and now it's going to be a dream for either team to take it. This is a massive one. The screams come through. It's Hoopa! Hoopa secures the Registeel, takes down the Umbreon, and final exam is putting the pressure and the screws to Phantom Thieves.
Final Exam is making great use of their time. They're all over this map. As soon as that Gengar ripped down our top objective, it immediately came down to start the rip down on that bottom objective, able to trust their team to come and help them with that as well. We are grabbing some of this middle area farm here, a little bit of engages and pokes at each other, but we're not going too far in. Final Exam is leading the pack with that level 10 Gengar and the Mega Gyarados as well.
Good pick on the Hoopa by Phantom Thieves, drawing that in. That's what you want from your Delmise. Set up those picks, try to take them down. Sylveon goes in for a cheeky little stack there and is able to X-speed away. Be like, zoom, zoom. Now I'm the Rapidash.
Yeah, X-Speed on Sylveon is super duper fun. Love to see it for sure. Final Exam getting chased back into their Flux Zone. Those Phantom Thieves is scoring big points for their side here. Hopefully going to put them back more on the board. Gengar does get a KO on that Mimikyu there, though. And the Mega Gyarados is out as well.
Mega Gyarados definitely coming in. It's had 2 KOs, but it's still hungry. Coming in more, hitting on the Mega Mewtwo Y. Going deep in the Flex Zone, says, listen, you wanted to do it to us, we can do it back. Oh no, Mega Gyarados in trouble. Points are going in, 284 to 50, but Mega Gyarados is gone.
Yeah, no, this is a interesting game, but you know, Final Thieves, oh my goodness, Phantom Thieves was not leading the pack at this point in the last game here. We just put them together. They're just one big team now. Love that. Final Exam is grabbing this Regieleki though for their side. I mean, we'll see if Phantom Thieves is able to get a pick to try to turn this around for themselves. We've seen them do it before. This isn't the end. We're at a little over the halfway mark. We've got an objective down bot lane. They're going to have to protect that top lane. But we'll see if they can turn this around.
JC's keeping good vision there on Rob, and they're trying to deny whatever experience they're trying to get, trying to keep as many eyes as possible while giving as little information as possible. Elo Poppy's playing around them incredibly well, putting the pressure with the screaming hyper voice coming out, but the play with me comes down. We lock it in. We're trying to grab the KO as the Infant Sidebird comes in. There we go with the Moonlight Prance. Nice foul plays coming in, but the Gengar comes in with the Phantom Ambush. Dragon Current comes down. Side Strike hits. Gyarados going in deep, but the Bliss says connects on the Mimikyu, and now we're Mega Evolved on the Mewtwo Y.
Connects, it does indeed. Those were good picks for the side of Phantom Thieves as well. Mimikyu's now at level 12 here. Still need more levels on the side of Phantom Thieves. If we can grab up as much farm as we can, that would help us significantly here, as we're only 1 minute away from the Kyogre spawning on the map here.
284 to 56. This is a deficit Phantom Thieves does not like to find themselves in. JC being an absolute nuisance of a player on this team for that Robin. Poor Robin getting bullied by JC and Elo Poppy. Listen, nobody taught them how. Maybe this is why Final Exam failed game 1 there. They were just getting a little bit too greedy. The principal said, you ain't moving on no matter what, all right? 17 seconds till Regieleki comes in, though. Players are looking to be setting up for it.
They are looking to be setting up for it. They've got what they need, but the huge Delmice crabs come out. But Delmice is in trouble, though. They went a little bit too far in there. They've got the Gyarados. They've got the Sylveon behind them. Just so much damage on the side of Final Exam here. I mean, it's going to be really tough to fight them in this final fight, as they've got their top players on their top picks here.
Yeah, 13 seconds now till Kyogre spawns in. Final Exam looking real pretty. They don't have to make a move. Phantom Thieves has to be the players that makes the move. They have to be the team that goes in. But Kyogre's here. The Anchor Shot goes in. We miss it. There's not a whole lot of action going on here.
There's not a lot of action going on here. We've got some hyper voices going out, just screaming into the void, but there's nothing to hit with. It looks like we're starting, though, as the Rings Unbound are coming out.
Yeah, the Rings Unbound come out, the power nap goes through. We're trying to take down JC as boom, boom, instantly. Phantom Thieves is hit down into the Shadow Realm with a third one following on the Mimikyu. Mewtwo Y comes in, hits with the side strike there as Mega Gyarados is hunting it down. Chopping, looking for that. The rip on Kyogre's gone. MG claims it as Gengar there as we finally connect with Seymour onto the Mewtwo Y.
We are indeed, and we are pushing towards this bot tier 2. Sylveon leading the pack with that hyper voice here. Final Exam doesn't have to push to score if they don't want to here. They've got 404 to Phantom Thieves 56 here. They're in a really nice position as long as their blessings do not go to the side of Phantom Thieves at all.
Yeah, they didn't even go for the scores. They just went in for the bait and switches now. They're pulling them in. There's the lot huge bulkiness coming up for Final Exam. Hyper Voice coming in. We got the A press coming in from the Mega Mewtwo Y, which is Mega Evolved. But Mimikyu goes down. Delmize is gone. Now it's hunted down by the Umbreon there as Mewtwo Y looks to extrapolate as Blissey falls behind it. The only Pokemon with a tree, but MG was there waiting with the Hex.
Yeah, that was brutal to see. You're running away from a pack of 4 people, and then all of a sudden, there's a Gengar in front of you. The Gengar, MG's big player there. The Rings Unbound are out once again. We're just brawling it out in these last couple seconds, but this game will be going to final exam, putting us in a Game 3 situation.
Hey, listen, I love it. The more I get to see these teams, the better it is for us. I mean, this is some great rounds of Unite. Again, final exam, doing great work in the early game, but this time they realized what their mistake was. They realized that they allowed Phantom Thieves to get online a little bit too quickly with reckless KOs, and they said, you know what? That's not going to happen anymore. And that translated pretty well. If you look at the KOs for Phantom Thieves, we have 7 KOs total for Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a much more rough position to be in than they were in this last game. They just weren't able to pull it back the way they were for the first one. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board here. I do wonder if that Gengar or that Sylveon are going to get a ban for this next game here. As we do see the Sylveon got a whole 87k worth of damage with that Hyper Voice. Just tons on the side of final exam in general here. 68, 69, 108k damage from the Mega Gyarados. I mean, that is just tons. But Skeleton Pie was also putting out tons of damage with 70 as well. Blissey was really trying to keep everyone healed up as much as possible. The Umbreon was tanking where they could. They just weren't able to get the picks that they needed to put them in a much better spot.
I just want to say 69k damage on a Hoopa is insane. Trick Shadow Ball, those special defense debuffs with the stuns. Christian was on fire with that Pokemon. Out damaged their jungler, their central lane Pokemon got out damaged by the support. That's huge. And if we look at the score lines here as well, we did a great job of just shutting down Phantom Thieves at any opportunity that they could to try to get points on the board. I mean, the last score they got was at 8 minutes, which was only a few points. It was like a 3 cap there to pull you up to 56. It just wasn't enough. This was a completely different teams on the board today. Phantom Thieves got completely shut down. Final exam found their groove. Now, coming into game 3, we saw some unique picks here. Pokemon you can't really ban out in a normal scenario of Gengar and Sylveon there. So I'm wondering if Phantom Thieves is going to pivot and one of their bans to hit one of these Pokemon.
Yeah, it definitely is an interesting situation. But as these teams get to know each other and play each other, like that one was really annoying to deal with. I think Gengar in the right hands is just a menace to deal with. It has been for a while. Normally when I see it out in the wild, I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna be too bad. But then like if it's a good Mimikyu player, I regret everything. It's so sad. And if I saw MG on ladder with the Gengar, I think I would start crying. I would still play the game out because I'm not that guy, but I think I would cry.
Just put the controller down and pray your team has it, you know? That's kind of what it is. Maybe I should go comfy this game. Maybe that's how that goes. But no, coming into this, both teams, again, looking really strong. Now, we have Phantom Forces coming in as the first pick for this next batch there. We're going to keep the map as Kyogre because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's worked once for each team there. But Phantom Forces is going to be taking, or Phantom Thieves going to be taking first pick there. I saw the hoop. I'm like, Phantom Force. But no. Phantom Thieves in the first pick position, so they're not going to be banning the Charizard Y. We didn't see Final Exam ban Charizard Y game 1, so will this be a ban that they pivot to, or did they forget what happened in game 1 and get completely bodied by it again?
You know, it's a lot of time for things to fall out of your brain. 10 minutes, you think it's a short period. No, I mean, there's so much that happens in these games. Surely they will remember how terrible the Mega Charizard Y was. I mean, it was just a menace. But we've seen Blissey squeak through twice. BTP's been really great on it to get the heals for their team. We are heading back in, though. Final exam, our purple team. Phantom Thieves are orange once again. And we do go ahead and look like we're sticking with the Vaporeon being in the ban slot there. But we are going ahead and saying the Mega Gyarados was an issue that we don't want to deal with again.
Yeah, Mega Charizard Y does hit the ban side for the side of final exam. That's good. That's smart. That was a powerful pick in the hands there. If they're not going to give you the Mega Gyarados, don't give them the Mega Charizard Y. That's not what you want to do. Mega Lucario also taken out, and so is the Umbreon. Just want to say, Mary, Mimikyu on the board. Has not seen a win this set, but has 100% pick plate this set. So both teams is really wanting this, but Zoro got lost on the way to Blastoise because that's not a Zoroark.
That is not a Zoroark. That is a turtle, actually. That's a turtle there. Not a fox, but final exam is going for something interesting here. It looks like we're looking at Snorlax and the Metagross pick right with it as well. I mean, yeah, if they went Comfey, I swear, I heard Mimikyu and I shake my head. That thing, don't mention it around me. It's a sore subject. It's a sore subject, but it looks like we're going for Urshifu on the side of Phantom Thieves.
Yeah, and we're hovering the Hoopa as well. We're going to bring Hoopa in for our side. Work for final exam. Now it's going to work for the side of Phantom Thieves. That's the hope. But Mimikyu playing into final exam. Can we break the curse of the set? The Mimikyu curse of 0% win rate, 100% pick rate. And Christian just said, you know what, Banana? Yeah, Elder Gods, that's a pretty good supporter. My Seymour needs some puffs.
Yeah, we've loved the LD for sure. The Mimikyu's gotten love, but not given love in a win for either of these teams. Skeleton Pie going for the Gardevoir pick here. I think that's going to be really interesting to watch. We've seen it be able to put out tons of damage for these teams, as well as the Trevenant pick as well here.
Yeah, lots of good range on Gardevoir. Punishes grouping up, which Metagross does like to do with its crushing compute. So, but we have Elo Poppy going to toe-to-toe on the attackers there, but this time they're picking the Pikachu there. So they don't have quite the same range as the Gardevoir there, but they are able to isolate certain targets with that Volt Tackle or even punish AO with AoE, such as the Thunderbolt combo. So both teams are looking pretty strong there. I'm not sure which one I like more. What about you, Mary? Whose comp do you like more?
I like the one without Mimikyu and with the Mage more hide. I'm gonna be for real. You know what? I will say though, being a Gardevoir against a Mimikyu does not feel amazing. So, Skeleton Pie, I hope your defenders keep you safe. This is why we picked the two, I'm sure, because we were like, you can't touch our Gardevoir. Please stay away from it. We need that guy so bad.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see Seymour on this Metagross. This is a Pokemon that is in their pocket. They do a lot of great things with it there, but not a whole lot of front line to go up against Phantom Thieves, and they did 1-2 pick the Metagross early on as well, despite of being able to hide that damage behind that Pokemon later in the draft. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it, because again, level 9 evolution, very late scaling Pokemon, but once it's online, does a lot of good work.
For sure, and we do see the Gardevoir going for the lane here. The Urshifu is going to be our central path Mon for Phantom Thieves. Looks like Final Exam is putting the Mimikyu over in their central path there, and we are looking to give the Gossifleur the red buff, or potentially just trying to scope out if there's an invade there. But Gardevoir in the lane is going to be interesting. We're going to want to try to get that thing its levels early. It takes a long time to scale that thing, so we'll see how quickly they're able to get that guy online.
Urshifu going to be having that central path there all to itself, but Mimikyu's already done the clear. Kubfu still looking to finish it off. Meanwhile, MG sitting in the path being like, come on, Nuttus, spawn Nuttus! Mimikyu's hungry! Need my little birdies! How's it coming down? I'll take a little child ghost instead.
Yeah, the Phantom lore. But Mimikyu's down here. Phantom is in trouble, and that is not the situation you want to be. As our Ralts there, Urshifu decided to go up this top lane. They're getting scores in there for their stacks that they need, so that's going to be good on their side. But it looks like we're kind of trading value up on top lane and bot lane as well.
Exactly. Weren't able to hit the Matang in the top there, so Mimikyu's going to keep going, brawling into the top there with the Eldegoss. Meanwhile, Matang finally taking that central path. Hoopa connects with the side of Phantom Thieves. That Urshifu's looking really strong. War Turtle goes down. Electro Ball comes through. There's the Electro Web coming in, and it's going to be a trick Hoopa once more. Wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah, for sure. That trick Hoopa, oh my gosh, it was such a menace this last game as well. And I know this player does play that thing quite a bit, so we'll see what they're able to do with it. Reggie Drago is low, but the Hoopa, it's the Hoopa with the steal. BTB snagging that out of Final Exam's hands. I'm telling you, that guy is a menace. He stole things with the Blissey. He's gonna be stealing them with the Hoopa. If you see him, stop touching that objective, or you better get all your secures ready, because he's gonna try to snag him.
When they talk about Mr. Crime, I'm pretty sure they're talking about BTP. That
is Mr. Crime
That is
himself.
diabolical. Phantom Thieves living up to their name, swiping right up from the end of their nose there. But the fight down here in the bottom lane is not going the Phantom Thieves' way. Urshifu's already gone as the Wood Hammer combo comes down. Mimikyu falls. The momentum from Final Exam has now been disrupted because Pikachu just doesn't have the damage output right now to push the pad.
No, they do not here. It looks like the Gardevoir is looking at starting this Regieleki for the side of Phantom Thieves here. Skeleton Pie does have the evolutions they need, but the Thieves are getting stolen from with the Pikachu snagging that Lecky out of their hands.
Yeah, quick double KO there. Trevenant gone, Urshifu gone. Regieleki now barreling down, breaks the pad. 1 over. Blastoise going for a cheeky 22, trying to get its 9 there, but Matang says, not on my watch. Hoopa's right in the thick of it. His Final Exam's looking to put the pressure on. JC's got the wall out, tries to go for the surf, but the heavy slam just jumps over it. Just whoop. Cow jumped over the moon, but the Snorlax jumped over the Blastoise.
Yeah. They did. They really did. I mean, I'm just shook that we're taking things from each other. We're 102 to 81, a little bit more even throughout this game, Hyde, than we've seen in the last two here. Phantom Thieves wants this. I think Skeleton Pie is doing some great job in their backline damage. They're really able to make sure that our Metagross isn't able to jump that Guardy as well, but we are up this top lane. Metagross is getting pushed on. It's just them up here, and Phantom Thieves is also making use of their time by pushing on that bottom tier 2 as well. Like, there's just a lot happening right now.
Oh, there goes the Computing Crush, taken down by the Gardevoir, countered with this very singularity. Massive points going in for the side of Phantom Thieves, but Final Exam claps back, and more importantly, breaks the T2 pad on the Regieleki side. If they're able to take this quickly on the Regieleki, this opens up a win condition closer to that Kyogre spot.
Yeah, no, these teams are really going back and forth here, but that is going to be huge for the side of Final Exam. And we have Regieleki spawning in 5, so we'll see what these teams are able to do with it. We're already positioned for it. The heavy slams are going out, and we're getting this party started.
Everybody from Final Exam minus Seymour's down on the bottom pad. Meanwhile, everybody, including everybody, out from Phantom Thieves is down there. The Rings Unbound comes out as JC's about to take a beating, but no, the big wall comes out and it's Trevenant. That's the first KO. Very Singularity comes out and claims there on the Christian. JC's now taken down. We're getting pushed back at Final Exam. We're not able to connect on this Regieleki. Oh, the Thunderstorm comes through, but the Surging Strike says, no, sir. Now we're going to be canceling that compute and crutch there. Matang alone. Metagross looking for a stop there. But massive points rain in. 237 to 226. This game could not be closer on the scoreboard.
No, it could not. Here as Phantom Thieves snags the Regieleki. They said, you might have broken all of our pads, but we're going to take the Regieleki from you. We don't want you to have that and walk that up near our home pad. That is not an ideal situation for us. But the Blastoise and the Gardevoir are leading the pack on their levels here. That Blastoise getting that 3 KO was wild here. Metagross just getting a little 13 in on that top lane there for a Final Exam. We'll see what they do. Like you said, they've been pretty back and forth. Metagross is in kind of an odd spot here, though.
Metagross has just been taking a beating all game. That damage is going to be damage taken is going to be incredibly high there because that Hopa and that Blastoise have been picking on it all match. They're a dynamic duo that is absolutely rough for Metagross to fight into. But that's also the T2 pad broken on the top there. We have the Trevenant looking in for the double KO. There's the Fairy Singularity, not able to clutch a KO as the Mimikyu misses the Shadow Sneak, not able to tag the Gardevoir as it ejects over the wall.
What I was saying about that tree is it was duking it out 1v3 for a minute there. Hoopa might be in trouble, though. They are heading back up to their top path there. Mimikyu decided to not go ahead and dive that far on to Phantom Thieves' side. We are looking at getting some positioning here. Kyogre is 30 seconds away. This is our game 3, and honestly, I'm really not sure what could happen. These teams are really going back and forth. And everyone's positioned and ready, so we're locked and loaded. We're ready for this final fight here. It looks like Gardevoir is just grabbing a little bit of farm before they head on over, but who knows, Hyde? Who knows what's gonna happen here?
We'll find out here in a few moments because 2 minutes hit. Kyogre's hit the field. Final Exam and Phantom Thieves are looking to see who's in the lead. Both teams now know it is Final Exam in the lead. That means Phantom Thieves has to make the play. They don't know by how much. They just know it's by more than 20 points. Thunderstorm comes out, though, as they collapse in. Hydro Typhoon comes through, the Power Nap into the Fairy Singularity. Gardevoir is the first KO claimed. We're looking for another one here as we're trying to collapse. The Rings Unbound come out. Hoopa is isolated, and Pikachu takes it down. That's one, that's two, but Mimikyu and the Snorlax also fall. It's Pikachu. Never mind, Pikachu's gone. It's Metagross and Eldegoss in a dream against the two tanks of Phantom Thieves. We're not able to connect there. We're not able to find the KOs. There's no Unite moves in anybody's pocket, and Blastoise is looking like they're going to go down here very soon.
They're looking like that for sure. The Gardevoir is back up. Everyone is going to be back up except for the Blastoise for both sides here. So we're repositioning here around this pit. We're going to see what we can do. Looks like we've got our second engage starting now, Hyde.
Absolutely. Kyogre's going to be getting taken down. Urshifu's already starting it. We're going straight for the roll, rip, and flip. Fairy Singularity comes back out, but it's the clutch Electro Ball for Final Exam. Elo Poppy locking it in, and now they're on the rush to score. They don't need to, but they're going to do it anyways. They want the bonus points.
They want the bonus points for sure. Blastoise pushing these two back here, but there's three. The Hydro Typhoon comes out. We're just kind of stalling it out here. It's rough here. Final Exam leading the pack on their points. They're going to be the winners of this best of 3 set here. Gardevoir gets a little KO on the Pikachu at the end. It's just a little... Take him out of here. Get that guy out. He might be the mascot, but he's got to go.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, that Pikachu was disgusting. Stealing Registeel, then stealing stealing the Kyogre away from the Phantom Thieves. I mean, they're supposed to be the ones stealing, and they got stolen from. I mean, what kind of cat burglars do that, you know? But, whew, that coming in, Blastoise is going to be picking up the MVP along with Elo Poppy. Well deserved, honestly, in my opinion, for both teams there.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I mean, Phantom Thieves got stolen from, but they did steal. They didn't steal enough to come out on top, I guess. Yeah, tons of KOs there. The Urshifu was doing a lot of work throughout this match as well. The Metagross, like you said, it did just kind of keep getting jumped as well. Urshifu outputting the most damage for the side of Phantom Thieves with the 71, followed up by the Blastoise with the 70k there as well.
Ooh, I mean, no almost 70k there on the Hoopa this time around, but I'll tell you right now, Robin, 48k on heals onto that Trevenant. That was a nasty horn leeching Trevenant. Lots of picks that they were able to find, set up, translated well into KOs as well. Phantom Thieves was also ahead on levels a little bit there. So overall, strong showing from Phantom Thieves, but Final Exam breaking the curse of Mimikyu this set, giving it its first win despite the fact that it's been 100% pick rate across 3 games. And this score line, look how close it was for so long, for nearly 4 minutes. Actually, for over 4 minutes, we are almost neck and neck on points. Nobody really doing much. We're focusing on levels, focusing on getting our power spikes, resetting our Unite moves, getting those charged up properly, and back to 100%. Overall, really strong showing from both teams.
Yes, for sure. I mean, the Mimikyu into the Gardevoir is just pain. It's just pain. And you know what? I'm glad for Mimikyu that Final Exam was able to break the curse. So it's safe to play now, everyone. If you play Mimikyu in your sets, it's all right. Nothing will happen to you now that's bad anymore. So that's great. Love that.
And you know what else is lovely, Miari? This was only round 3. That means there's one more round to go. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have round 4 ready to go.
Welcome back, trainers. We are back with Underdunk 72, featuring Steel Agent Kyle and also us here. Hyde, how are you doing? We're going to see Honey Pack and Aaron Max Huge Heart.
Hey. Pronounce it properly. Hooney Pack.
Hooney
Pack. It's got 2 O's. Hooney Pack. Hooney Pack and Aaron's Max Huge Heart.
Yeah.
In case you didn't, it's Aaron Max Huge Heart and Hooney Pack. All right. Make sure we get the names right. We broke her. Mission accomplished.
I'm in despair. Oh my goodness. I've been so good. I've been so unbreakable for so long, and you've done it again. Oh my goodness. But we do see, as we are heading into our ban phase, it's looking like Hooney Pack is not wanting to see Talonflame on the board, and our orange team does not want to see the orange dragon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're getting rid of Talonflame, we're getting rid of Mimikyu, we're getting rid of Charizard Y. I mean, we got a lot coming out here as well. This is absolutely demonic what they're eliminating from here. Mega Gyarados is gone. I mean, we got a lot of people on the team there. We got Fear of the MQL, Fear of the MQL, Fear of the MQL. I don't know who they're talking about, but then Mochi Pounder coming in. And then we got Not Pikachu with Aaron Mac, and then Vin. Ooh, there you go. We got lots of names that you might recognize. I mean, listen, by the end of this, if you don't know who MQL is and you don't fear them with the hashtag, then you know what? I don't think you're doing your job properly. But the Blastoise is going to be the first for Hooney Pack.
Indeed, they are, as we do see Lemongrab go ahead and go for, looks like potentially Psyduck here. They're also going ahead and grabbing the Mega Lucario as well. That's going to be interesting. Psyduck is a menace to deal with. Hooney Pack is grabbing Machamp as well. Machamp's so incredibly popular, and we do see Mr. Mime is going to be on the field once again.
Yeah, Psyduck, Mega Lucario, Hoopa, Mega Charizard. Huge grabs here for the side of Aaron Max. Huge heart there. But now we do see a lot of good stuff as well. I mean, we got the Hoopa in the back. Hoopa we've seen has been very powerful. We got the Mr. Crime coming in as well, being able to commit some felonies, getting those objectives. That's what we want to see. Mochi Pounder coming in as well on the Greninja with Armor Rouge to round out the picks.
The Armor Rouge pick is interesting here. You definitely don't see it a ton, so it'll be nice to see it on the board here. Looks like Aaron Max Huge Heart is going for a Mega Charizard X as well as the Cerulege pick.
Listen, I'm just saying, you sounded like he didn't have a huge heart. I mean, he could have had big feet, you know, you never know. Could have been that. It could have been big feet, but could have been a big thumb too. You never know. But the Cerulege, I do like the round out here, but it does look like a lot of really like bulky all-rounders here for Aaron Max Huge Heart there. Hooney Pack has to come in. They got the Greninja, they got the Armor Rouge, they got the distance, they got the range. No heals unless the Hoopa comes in with the portals and doesn't follow the tradition that's been set on stream so far of Trick Hoopa.
Yeah, you know, we're going to see if someone can maybe break that. What was that, like 86K on that Trick Hoopa or something wild like that?
69K. The magic number is 69. We're not on Underdunk 69 anymore. We're on Underdunk 72, but there was an Underdunk 69. That would have been a good Underdunk to hit that damage on there, but not quite 70K, so a little bit disappointed there. But, you know, it could have been just a couple more 100 damage than we hit that. But Honey Pack, your purple team, Aaron Max Huge Heart, your orange team, as we get off to game number 1 of round 4.
Yeah, we've got Greninja going up against the Armor Rouge as our central lane Mons here. We're heading up this top lane here. We've got the Zard Psyduck up this top lane. We've got the Lucario down bot. The Machamp is already going for the invade, snagging up that red buff from our Armor Rouge here. That is going to be a pivotal grab for their side.
Didn't even need the karate chop for it either. Just used a boosted auto. They just take that there. They didn't quite get the Excel core. They just said, listen, that's a bug type. It resists me. But what doesn't resist is that water type. Lucario getting taken down. That little Squirtle showing the turtle like, you know what? That's right. That's what happens when you mess with Lucario.
That is indeed. We've got 3 Mons up this top lane here, both of our supports and the Charizard as well. Greninja is up here looking for the 850 farm once it spawns, and here we are, and the Armourouge is ready to meet us as well.
4-man army from Huge Heart coming in against Honey Pack there. Quick cheeky six-pack going in there. Mr. Mime, Mr. Crime, ready to go in and take down the Duck. But the Duck says, I got a headache. I ain't got time to deal with this. You can have the quadruple surf coming in. And there we go. Huge advantage down in the bottom lane now as we do look for some cheeky KOs. Cheeky scores there from the War Turtle.
Yeah, the War Turtle was looking for some of those there. The Armourouge is able to get some points in there. We're sitting at 68-10 here, about the 8-minute mark. We do snag the Charmeleon there with our Machoke, and we are going for a little bit of a top pad push here.
We might get KO'd here on the Machoke. No, we pop the X speed and go supersonic with the submission. Whip it from 0 to 100, going to the other side of the board there. And at the quick retreat back to the home pad. Now that's some speed coming up from Machoke. And that's why you like to run the submission there. A little bit of a boost there, but look at Aaron Max, Huge Heart down in the bottom lane. Lucario getting caught out. Submission already coming in line with the Flux Zone speed. They're down in the bottom. 7 points here. They could look for an early break here, but they're going to try to get a huge 30 cap in for the Greninja.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can do some good math here, or if we're going to get some good KOs for the side of Aaron Max. Huge Heart. 2 KO streak there from the Ceruledge, and we're turning that push right back around on Honey Pack. Their tier 1s are just hanging on by threads here, Hyde.
Yeah, both teams doing incredibly good here. 111-88. They're going to look to break this 105. Didn't quite take the lead, but they get the blessing of Regis Ice going for their side. Ceruledge going to be locking that in. Machoke tries to get away, but Ceruledge and Hoopa say, you ain't fast enough this time.
No, they were not for sure. We're heading up to top lane here, seeing what is going on up top. We've got Regieleki sitting up here. He's been a little lonely. Nothing has been happening too much, but the Machamp is heading in on the Lucario here.
There's a constant issue this Machamp is facing. Every time it goes in, it takes massive amounts of damage, gets chunked down to almost nothing there. So that is something they're going to have to work on. That's probably going to go with the levels. But what's not going to work on? Mega Charizard X is already coming in. Boom! There's another stack there as we are floating around looking for another thing to Flare Blitz.
Yeah, no, that seismic slam coming out was definitely really terrifying there. The Mime barriers are doing a lot of interrupt. Showtime is out, getting more stunts in here, and the Mega Charizard X is caught in it right now. Hoopa Rings Unbound are out, and this Machamp is just throwing everyone around.
Ooh, nice KOs from the combination of the Machamp and the Blastoise there. Mega Lucario coming through. Nice dip and dive over the wall to try to put some distance. Ceruledge looks to go in and collapse there. Lucario with the close combat looking for the Blastoise, just out of range as the Surfs come in. And Mega Lucario's Mega Evolution is now deleted.
Yeah, yeah, Mime taking a funny little 2 KO streak. They're 134 to 241 here. I can't read numbers. I play this video game, so that makes sense. Machamp trying to grab some duck there, but they weren't quite able to here. We're kind of just farming. We're looking at each other a little bit, but we're not going for a fight right now. We've got our bottom Reggie down here. Looks like we're starting to head that way.
And we're not going to talk about the fact that Hyde is shocked that this Armor Rouge is armor cannon despite it being 5.5 minutes already into this game, all right? We're just going to brush that aside and look at the Mr. Mime and wonder as it goes to a nice barrier into a confusion combo, and Mega Charizard X comes in and says, "Goodbye, Blastoise!" Now we have Surledge looking out on the Mr. Mime, Mr. Crime, trying to dodge and weave away. The law is on his tail, and he knows it.
It is indeed. The Mega Charizard X is just ripping down this Reg Ice. They did Mega Evolve too. They are getting that pretty quickly for their side. Psyduck, you think that guy's in trouble, and then he's just suddenly not. There we go. The Psyduck comes out, and we're still up here. I mean, that's just brutal. They did get the top Regieleki as well, so they are going ahead and advancing on this tier 2 as well.
Slight level lead with Aaron Max Huge Heart there, with the Surledge at 13. Meanwhile, Greninja's sitting at the highest level for Honey Pack, only at level 12. So we're still, but our points, 191 to 241. Aaron Mack is only ahead by about 50 points here, not by, and by about 1 level as well. And they're looking to put the pressure on the side of Honey Pack by collapsing on the pad, but the momentum has shifted. They got derailed right off the get-go by the bulk of Mr. Mime and Blastoise.
Yeah, Surledge caught in a bad spot though, as they do take a KO back for the side of Honey Pack. That is a nice pick for them. They just took down their strongest team member for the side of Aaron Mack. So Honey Pack just did something really great for their side. We're 1 minute away from our final objective being on the map here. Psyduck might be in trouble. Like I said though, that guy can get away pretty quickly.
Yeah, Psyduck gets away with murder at this point, almost. But the Psyduck's going to go in, and they're going to be able to put out a lot of damage. A lot of good stuff coming in. There's the Machamp taking down Armor Rouge on low HP. Mega Lucario looking to collapse on it. Taken down as well. 2 KO streak for the Mega Lucario. Blastoise able to get away, though, which is a good thing. But look, 50 points scored by the Charizard, putting them 100 exactly in the lead. That means not even a Hundo Burger will win this game for Honey Pack. They need a Hundo Burger and then a little teeny little bit of a kid's meal.
They do for sure. Honey Pack gets another nice KO for their side with the Mega Charizard X pick there. The Barrage Blow is coming out, and so is the Showtime as well. Kyogre isn't even here to witness it.
No, they're going to be taking down the Charizard. Is gone early on. The Surledge able to get away with the Greninja uniting over a wall to escape with its Unite move. There's the Charizard coming in. Mega Charizard's there, and they secures the Kyogre. Aaron Max Huge Heart is going to be claiming the first Kyogre, but can they claim the game? 1, 2, 3, 4 down for Honey Pack there. It's Armor Rouge in a dream with its brother Surledge on its heels.
Yes, it is indeed. And this game might not be sweet enough for the Honey Packs here, as we are scoring a 40, becomes an 80, and a 50 becomes a Hundo Burger in on their goal zone there. I mean, this is rough for their side for sure. We've still got a minute left, but that's like 600 points over there. That's brutal. That's brutal, Hyde.
Yeah, game number 1, most assuredly going to Aaron Max Huge Heart. So with a minute left, you can now talk about your strategy going into this next game. There's what do you do? What bans do you take? What Pokemon do you take off the board? Honey Pack took off Talonflame, Mimikyu, Darkrai. Now, these are not staple bans. Mimikyu's starting to appear a little bit more there, so that's pretty good. But Darkrai, Talonflame, not the usual bans you see from a Pokemon, from a team there. So is there room to pivot one of these Pokemon off the roster to potentially ban another problematic Pokemon that Aaron Max Huge Heart brought into this match?
Yeah, I mean, the Surledge was leading the pack throughout this game on its levels there. Mime getting the KO on the Lucario there as well. The supports are kind of duking it out in this last 10 seconds of this match. I almost said 10 minutes. The Barrage Blow coming in on the Surledge. Oh, they dodge it. They get away. But not with the Mime behind.
Listen, you might have lost the match by 600 points, but you KO'd the Surledge right at the end there, and that's all that matters, is that last second bit of joy. You know, you're like, listen. Bro's got to go. He can't keep dodging stuff, and we caught him at the end. So that's a victory in my books.
We've got to get our KOs where we could get them here. We do see the Ledge leading there on the KOs, sitting with 10 there in the MVP, with the Machamp for the side of Honey Pack, also getting MVP with the 5 KOs and the 5 assists as well.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what the battle stats are going to be like too. Because I mean, like we take a look at this Ledge coming in 98k damage, Lemongrab 72. There's a Mega Charizard, there's a Mega Lucario, but the Psyduck is the second highest damage for the side of Aaron Mack's team. That's insane, Listen, give that Psyduck like a raise or something, a little bit of extra corn or something tonight with the bread, or I don't know, because brother's been cooking today. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, Lemongrab is definitely a very skilled support player. I've seen her play Psyduck and other supports that leave my brain immediately as I say them because that's my life. But you do see here, as we look throughout this match, just the huge lead Aaron Max got with the Kyogre. They scored so many points in that end game. But I really wasn't entirely sure how that was going to go throughout that. Aaron Max was just looking way better near the end game. But I was like, I don't know. I kind of thought Honey Pot might be able to pull it. So we'll see what happens in this next one. But I mean, this could be a situation where it does go to a game 3 once again. We'll see.
Yeah, Honey Pack has the tools to be able to pull it back and to take a game off of Aaron Mack's huge heart. Like they have shown that they got the early game locked in, that they're able to go toe to toe. It's now finding where they can gain advantage without making too many mistakes, because that's what Aaron Mack's team did. His huge heart was able to just take momentum and deny momentum based off little mistakes that Honey Pack made. So where does it go from this point on? I think it comes down to, what do you fear the most in the ban phase? And maybe can you drop something off the bans and maybe pivot to a pick or something like that? Maybe there's a counter. I mean, Talonflame's on there, probably a reason for it, but of the 3 up there, I think it could come off for a potential ban onto the Mega Lucario, because that thing was ripping into you.
For sure. It looks like they might be doing that very same thing. We are at least hovering over that Mega Lucario. It was really too early to tell there for sure. But they still don't want to see the Talonflame actually hide. They still think it's worth the ban. I'm hoping we find out a little bit more about why later on, potentially, but the Mega Gyarados gets a ban from Aaron Mack's huge heart.
Yeah, there we go. We're going with the Mimikyu ban there. That puts it back on the not Pika diff there. So we're going to be looking to see what ban's going to be coming out there. Will it be nothing? No, it's going to be Mega Lucario. We're not in the first pick position. We're just going to say, you know what? We took it. That, it went good things. But we're also going to bait the casters and just say, Mega Char, why? Get it out of here. We don't want to see it. Why? Because it's overpowered. That's why.
That is why, for sure. The Mimikyu, it's banned. I'm glad I don't get to see it. Darkrai getting the ban as well here. Armarouge getting banned for the side of Aaron Max as well, so we won't be able to see both our Armarouge and our Ledge. Oh my goodness, the sleeps are coming for me quickly. Honey Pack going ahead and looking like we're looking at our tank pick first here. Just kidding. Just kidding. We go for Mega Lucario.
Yeah, we're just hovering through and be like, oh, what are we going to pick? It's going to be this one. It's going to be that one. It's going to be this one. Nah, it's going to be this one. Nah, psych! Mega Lucario comes in. Lemongrab being like, that's fine. You can have it. That's okay. We don't need it. We got Psyduck. Psyduck was our second highest damage after the Ledge, and you're just going to let me have it again. So we'll take it back as Aaron Mack blocks in the Blastoise and says, you can't have this back again.
Yeah, water types galore for sure. I mean, letting the Psyduck through that is kind of scary. Once again, such huge damage there. I mean, she was able to poke in and pull out of so many situations. It is like, that duck should not have lived through that, but really showed that this player is very skilled on that Mon. The Machamp is snagged for Honey Pack there, and we are going for the tree
Yeah, Trevenant there with the Machamp. Lots of stun, lots of CC coming through there. Surprising, this Trevenant has opted not to put the Vanguard Bell on, so there's still opportunities to do it, but not seeing it right now. Meanwhile, the side of Aaron Max Huge Heart pulling in Inteleon along with the Mega Charizard X. Massive damage both in melee range and, ranged range. I don't know what you call it. Mage! You got a mage and a brawler coming in for the side of the Huge Hearts.
That is what I'm gonna call my mage picks now. The ranged range.
Yeah,
At the range. You're having nightmarish flashbacks to when I accidentally picked Snipe Shot and Teleon one time. Mr. Mime grabbed for Honey Pack again, as well as the Greninja pick as well. Aaron Max grabbing Cerulege once more as well. The Cerulege was doing tons of work for them, so we'll get to see it do even more probably this game as well.
Yeah, I'm expecting huge damage numbers again. Red Love was able to hit 98k last game. Lemongrad 72, 76, somewhere around there. I can't remember off the top of my head. If it's not a distinct number, I don't remember it. Or if I don't want to do some sort of association, with it, then like 72. Man, you know what? It would have been 72. Underdunk 72. You think I'd do that stuff? You think I'd do that association? I never did it. This just slipped my mind.
Yeah, with the 89, that was actually the 69k. I was a little disappointed because you would think I would remember that number, but my brain said, no, that 6 is an 8. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Things happened. I don't know. We're going to sleep. Something's happening. Honey Pack, our purple team, once again. Aaron Mack is our orange, and they rhyme, actually. If you don't say Huge Heart, it rhymes. And I like that.
There you go. There you go. But that's the Huge Heart part, Yeah. I mean, it could be huge feet, could be huge toes, could be huge thumbs. You never know. You just got to say Huge Heart. Everybody's got to know what's the huge about it. So, Machops going in for the invade there. Psyduck slowly behind, waddling in there. Meanwhile, now we got the Armor Root or the Charcadet here. Cerulege looking to put a lot of damage down. The XP pops out. All of a sudden, we're like, no, I'm in danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Yeah, no, we brought the duck with us, and that's absolutely terrifying for Honey Pack. We said that central path is a scary place now. There's a rubber ducky in there with the Cerulege. Don't want to see him for sure. 0 to 11 so far. Our Frogadier is up this top lane right now, just seeing what we can grab for the farm. 5 seconds away from 850 birds spawning in, and it's looking like we're getting a bit of an engage.
Yeah, 4-man army into the top, and it's Psyduck and a dream. Will Psyduck be able to pull it off? Nah, Psyduck's just waddling around, quacking about, being like, nah, what am I going to do? I got Flexo to speed me up, but what am I supposed to do? I'm all alone. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane there, we got a little bit more presence. We got more spread out. We got more vision. Look at the map here. We're able to take down those Natus like they were nothing. And Mr. Mime comes in for a drive-by on the confusion. How rude.
That is really rude there, but they don't manage to snag that red buff away from the side of Aaron Max. Huge Heart. Nothing there for our Honey Pack people there. A little bit of scores are coming in down this bot lane, and Teleon sitting at their middle evolution there. So we're gonna see. We're climbing slowly but surely here. Reggie Drago is on the map, so we'll see if we go for it or not. We're looking at some little scores up this top lane. Lucario's stacking. Lucario's getting stronger throughout, getting these stacks, so that is kind of frightening for Aaron Max Huge Heart.
Yeah, 58 to 67. 6-7's made an appearance tonight. Just like a previous Underdunk. You gotta say it. Kyle's right here. He's in the chat. You can't say too much, but he knows. He's snickering.
Why do you hurt me this way?
Why are we this way? Exactly.
Oh,
exactly. Huge engage, though, from the side of Honey Pack, though. Machamp going in nice and deep, able to get that submission off. But the Cerulege is able to get away. Psyduck and Inteleon keeping the pressure down.
Yeah, they are, and this Inteleon is sniping and showing what I should do when I play Snipe Shot, but not what I do, because I'm not that skilled with it. Anyways, up this top lane, we've got Lucario solo ripping this Regieleki. Charizard is coming up to contest, seeing if it can get the secure. We're kind of dancing around it, but it does end up going to the Lucario from the side of Honey Pack.
A game of chicken and Lucario won. Surprisingly, no chickens were up there. So, but Regirock is going to be in the bottom here. We have the nice Water Burst Shuriken coming out from the side of that Greninja there. Machamp's taking a beating there as we're able to lock in the blessings of Regirock. Now it opens up the T1 pad there for us to go score on and try to further the lead.
They are indeed. We've got the 26 and the 40 looking at coming in there. The 40 goes first, the 26 next. And we do get a little bit of a overcap there. I honestly did not see what it was, but the Ceruledge is having to pull away and eject from this angry Machamp right now. That is scary, but we come back in, seeing if we can slice at them and get anything there, but it's not quite enough.
As your Spy Vision comes out, a nasty hit on the Greninja comes through with that Snipe Shot. Good job from the side of Vin, being able to do as much damage and not just aim, but also hit the target as well. It doesn't seem like it, but Inteleon Snipe Shot is an incredibly hard move to aim.
This feels targeted. Anyways, the tree comes in with the wood hammer there in on Honey Pack, but it wasn't enough. They do end up going down. The Greninja is cleaning up though with a 2 KO streak. Lemon Grab is being forced to pull back there. 210 to 157. We're sitting at the 5-minute mark here. Honey Pack's being a little aggressive over in the central path here, seeing if we can look at this duck a little bit.
Oh, we're going to be triggering that Psyduck headache right there as Machamp, Mr. Mime, Wombo combos it into oblivion there. Blastoise coming through to try to stop them, and only the Mr. Crime is dissuaded there. But we're still got that submission on the board there. We're still looking for it. But Regieleki plays for Aaron Max Huge Heart as Charizard Ceruledge lock it in the top lane and send it alone to the T2 pad.
They are indeed. It is all by itself playing for Aaron Max Huge Heart, but they let him go off by himself. He's a solo. He's an offlaner for their team. You know, we are 15 seconds away from Regidrago, and we have our Regi trio down this bot lane. It is a Registeel, and we are starting the engage.
Man, Mega Lucario's already on the board as the Inteleon Snipe Shot comes through, but the Machamp says, no, that's mine! We got the Revenant Rend coming in, but it's not going to be able to pick up any KOs. Never mind, it did. 1, 2, 3 with the Inteleon. Boom, boom, boom. We got Charizard has to peel back because of the damage there, but Greninja is the only surviving member of Booney Pack there. Huge 39 overcap, and all of a sudden, Meowry, this is a 1-point game.
They are 1 point away from each other. That Inteleon got a nice little triple KO streak there. Regidrago starting to get ripped down by this Blastoise Inteleon combination. Right now, Trevenant is lurking in the bushes, seeing if it can snag something. We have the Greninja ult come out here, and the Inteleon does manage to snag that with their Snipe Shot.
Massive hit with the Inteleon there on the Snipe Shots, doing great work. Mega Charizard comes out for the last time before the Kyogre spawns in, taken down. And Honey Pack is coming in strong on this. Another KO. Lemon Grab going down. Now we have 3 members here down at the bottom for Aaron Max Huge Heart. Control of the central pit is now in their favor there as the final Regieleki of the game is going to be up in the top here.
Yes, it will be. We've got Mega Lucario up there on that top lane, already ready to rip it down. And Aaron Max is making good use of their time here, getting a bottom tier to push in. The 27 and the 50 go in there. That home pad is now open for scores for their side. Honey Pack goes for that. Hydro Typhoon is coming out. Looks like we're looking at an early engage here.
Phantom Force comes in. There's a lot of Unite moves that have already been burned. But we're all gonna be looking for the KO, and there we go. We pick up the Psyduck. Gone. Huge hit from Inteleon on Mr. Mime. Now the Showtime comes out, tries to get something going here, but Aaron Max Huge Hearts collapsed. Mr. Mime is gone. Huge hit on the Greninja as the Kyogre is starting to be ripped down to a quarter of HP. Greninja's wiped off the board. Now we're going to be looking to grab this. Mega Lucario's back in the field. We're going to hit the Lucario with we have that power-up punch charged up. The game is frozen. I can't see what's happening. Oh, no! We're right in the thick of it. I hope you guys can see what's going on because I sure as heck can't. We got a secured Kyogre, though, let me tell you.
Yes, someone has the Kyogre, and it went to Aaron Max Huge Heart. It is a mystery who exactly snagged it, but I'm sure we will be able to find out. 234 to 762 here. We wail in agony here, but it's okay. It's okay. It do be like that, unfortunately. The Kyogre's blessing runs out here, so Honey Peck does have their healing on their pads once again, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. This isn't really something that you come back from.
Listen, when all else fails, when it comes to tech issues, we got Bina, giving us the nice observer feed coming in. That's all the camera work. We got Kyle handling the stream, but at the end of the day, it's all Lordy's fault.
I mean, well, well, you said it, not me. You said it, not me. All right. If I'm pointing straight at you, and I'm saying it's him, officer. I didn't say anything. Absolutely not. We're just closing this out. Aaron Max, Huge Heart, getting the 2 games, winning the best of 3. And do we take bets on who secured it? What do we do? We say Inteleon Snipe Shot, 2 AOS energy. I don't know.
2 AOS energy.
I don't know. What do you do? But looks like we're sitting 234 to 892. The Greninja taking the MVP for Honey Pack there. I kept saying Honey Pack. Honey Pack. I have to think harder to say it. I'm so sorry.
I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, it's Honey Pack. It's spelled Hooney, and then Aaron Max Huge Heart. That's how it's pronounced, I can't help it. But Mochi Pounder being the MVP for the side of Honey Pack there, and then we've got Aaron Mac being the MVP for the side of his Huge Heart. So that's actually not surprising to come in there. Let's take a look at the battle data too. I'm curious to see what kind of damage numbers were coming in as well, because again, Red Love did a lot of great work on the Cerulege there, but I don't think they did quite as well as they did the first time. Yeah, this time it was Vin coming in as the hero of damage there with the 86, and we saw that power coming through at the end there. Every snipe shot, Honey Pack was hurting.
Yeah, you saw that Greninja just kind of get wiped off the board with a singular snipe shot, which is just kind of the way of the Greninja. You see a snipe shot coming at you and you say, all right, I'm out of here for a little bit. It is what it is. 56k on the Greninja, leading the pack there. Mime got some decent damage in as well with 43 as well. But yeah, once they got the Kyogre, this show was over, and this game belonged to Aaron Max Huge Heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I really like that too, of what they were able to get done. They're able to keep that score line, just both teams just keeping the pressure on right up until Kyogre got secured. By who? We'll never know.
It's a mystery indeed, for sure. They've got the gamers have the reward where it's like, oh, you're the Kyogre defeater. I hope they tell us. I would like to know.
You tell us, Kyle, what's up? What do you think of that last match? Who do you think got the final secure?
I looked back at the footage. So the YouTube feed, like if I go back on the YouTube feed, it literally goes from 140 in the fight to 119. So it's like power-up punches going, and then all of a sudden everybody's at base. So I think there was just like a internet glitch or something, not transmitting to YouTube. So It'll be my guess is gonna be Vint, Snipe Shot, and Talion, likely the secure tool of choice, since we do know that it did go over to Aaron Max huge heart. But yeah, I believe that's my guess, but I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Lost footage. Who's to say? And big shout out to Tish for the raid. Hopefully y'all had fun. Congratulations on your team's wins earlier. Super excited. Always see some good Blissey play from Tish. That was a pretty fun set, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Black Prevail says Aaron Max secured the Kyogre. Okay. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Well, I guess that is the that's what we know. So we'll see about that. Any final thoughts? So that is going to conclude our Underdunk 72, I believe. I mean, this game went to a game 2. I believe all the other ones are either already in the game number 3 or are finished. So I believe that is going to be our last set of the day. And that does leave without completely griefing. I believe that means that Aaron Max Huge Heart is going to be your final winner of it with an undefeated record. I believe there might be another team that is like 3-1, but that is going to be the only undefeated team on the evening. So super excited. Obviously, it makes sense. We have kind of a league team, a half of a league team. You have Ben and Pika Diff from Evil Geniuses. Yeah. So it's a pretty good squad, right?
Yeah, absolutely there. But the sets tonight were absolutely fire. Watching all 4 of them start to finish, I was on my toes every step of the way. And like I said, I got to see a Tyranitar, so I'd happy.
Super fun stuff. We are going to go ahead and conclude this one. I did want to just drop a couple of final notes in here before we head on out for the evening. Exclamation point fundraiser. Just a reminder for everybody that there is a GoFundMe going on for George, a community member, as well as a Pokemon professor, was president at last year's EUIC, and he's battling stage 5 chronic kidney failure. And we have a GoFundMe up in the chat if you are interested in donating to that. Any donations are appreciated. There's also the Unite dev letter patch. I recommend everybody, reads it, drops their feedback. Would love to hear it from the community. Not sure what the ambassadors can do about any of it. Seemingly something, seemingly nothing. But any feedback is going to be obviously forwarded to the devs. Whether or not they listen to it and incorporate any of it, who's to say? My guess is no.
Yeah.
But feedback is always obviously welcome and all that fun stuff. Any final thoughts on the meta? We saw obviously the new item get launched into the game, the Vanguard Bell. We saw quite a few Pokemon running on it. I'll start with just kind of final thoughts on the new forming meta with the new item. We'll start with you, Mallory. Any final thoughts on the day?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it ran on a couple different defenders there. I believe we saw it on Umbreon as well as Snorlax tonight. And that was really, I mean, they looked like they were doing pretty good with it. I hadn't played it a lot personally or really at all, but I've definitely heard really amazing things from my tank players that I know. So it's seeming like it's very, very impactful in these games. But I haven't been playing a lot of tank lately, and I haven't even bought it yet, so I can't really put too much into it. But from what I've heard, it sounds like it is a very impactful and good item.
I think it's super fun. I think there are a lot of Pokemon that use it. I think my favorite Pokemon to use it on right now, toss up between Psyduck and Mr. Mime. I think those Pokemon benefit immensely from it because they don't have any healing in their kits. And they tend to play, while they are supporters, they tend to play more like those disruptors that you really want to be up in the enemy's face. I think that's a really good item for them. Allows them to stay on the map a little bit more. Super fun. Jonathan Hyde, any final thoughts on the meta, the Vanguard Bell teams today? Anything?
I mean, I think you know what I'm going to say here. I mean, there's one Pokemon in this game that's got so much stun and CC on it. I mean, we've seen a couple of tonight. I mean, we've seen the Trevenant. Trevenant was demonic on it, but Vanguard Bell, Sableye? Maybe?
Okay.
No?
Hmm?
No, the little guy, he just one tap's
Is
gone.
he?
But no,
Yeah.
on all seriousness, I think Vanguard Bell is going to be a huge change coming into this because every 5 seconds, 10% of your HP coming back. That's on par with some cooldowns of moves like we've seen with Trevenant, Woodhammer, really small cooldown. Double stun coming out on that. And then when you go for the combo there, you probably have that Vanguard Bell back to go into the Horn Leech there, or you got the double Horn Leech with the Curse combo. That is absolutely demonic. So I think Trevenant with the Vanguard Bell stocks are going to go way up for that Pokemon.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there are a lot of Pokemon. I think attackers are kind of losers on this patch. They're losers on most patches, it seems. Defenders and disruptor supports definitely seem like big winners there. Saw a lot of like big tanky compositions, which I thought was really good. I do think Mr. Mime was my Pokemon to
Yes.
watch today. I think it performed pretty well when it was picked. I'm excited to see it more, and I'm excited to play it more. But with that said, we will be back. I believe we are taking the week off next week. I'll have to be corrected. We are going to take a week off. Obviously, we've had about 3 or 4 weeks in a row, so we're going to reconfigure. We are going to come back better than ever in the next Underdunk 73. We have some fun plans that we are plotting and planning on running in the meantime. So stay tuned on our socials. Players, we are going to be also for our socials, we are going to be we have a graphic for our winners of the week. So feel free. There is a section in the Discord to drop your trainer card, and the winners will use those trainer cards in our socials for our posts and all that fun stuff. But with that said, that is going to be it for us. We will be back with Underdunk 73 in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. If not, we'll be back next week and we'll just run it. But stay tuned in the Discord, on the socials. Until then, trainers, we will see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.